got the kangaroo meat.
Yeah.
And on the package, first off, I don't understand why they say, I don't understand why when there's like game meat, they add beef to it. I'm not sure why they do that. Like there's 4% beef added to the kangaroo meat. It's like that for the company Force of Nature that makes the venison.
Yeah.
And they make the
I don't even want to say, honestly, I was gonna say maybe it's for flavor, but that's not enough to cut the flavor if you don't like gamey meat. Pause.
No kidding.
But yeah, I don't know if that's even a cut to flavor. I don't know what the reason is.
They add beef to game meat. Beef is often added to game meat like venison or elk and roux.
Yep.
To increase its fat content, which helps improve the texture and flavor. By making it juicier and preventing it from drying out during cooking. I'll tell you what, dude, the kangaroo is lean.
Oh yeah.
Lean. I put it up on my story this morning. 4 ounces, 100 calories, 1 gram of fat, 23 grams of protein.
That's pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Now, how's it taste?
Everyone's been asking me that. They've been like, "Oh, did you cook it? Did you cook it?" I finally got to cooking it, and I cooked it this morning, and I put a little seasoning on it because I wanted to taste what it actually tasted like, and it's very light and sweet at the end. It's very weird. It's gamey, but not gamey. Do you remember when Bear Burger?
Yes.
They were like really dope. Like now they're just commercial. But when they originally started, I don't know if you remember Bear Burger when they originally started. They used to do elk, wild boar.
Yes.
They used to do. I think they did
all
alligator too.
Yeah.
Ostrich. They used to do
they have ostrich burgers. Yeah.
They used to do all of that, and then they just stopped doing that. But this is what it doesn't taste as heavy game-wise as that meat. It tastes very light. I'm not gonna lie. You start looking up the kangaroos, you start realizing they're just like giant rats. Didn't love that, but didn't love that. But I'll tell you what, it's pretty cool to like.
But they're muscular as hell.
Muscular as hell, dude. The video I just showed you,
Dude, they're like jacked.
I was looking at
fucking hysterical.
I was looking at kangaroo videos because I was just
kick the shit out of you, man.
Bro,
that's the problem because they got the claws, the hooves, or whatever they call it. They got these 2 claws on there. They'll rip you to shreds with that thing because they balance on their tail. And
they balance it. Look, dude, look at this dude. That dude looks like he's ready for the Arnold Classic.
Damn, that's a big boy.
Look at my dude.
He's
He's
flexing
on him too. He's hitting it. He's hitting a front double.
No, they're definitely feeding him something. That's an
no.
abnormal.
That's all. That's what they all look like.
No, they don't.
They do. The male kangaroos. That's what they look like.
Let me see that again.
They roll up on you and they just got to flex on you, let you know.
Bro, it's crazy. And then they're sitting on their back of their tail, just like hanging out. Like, boy, put your shit away. Don't show me that.
Wild. He looks like you.
Yeah, he does. He looks like Jay. Looks like a lighter Jay.
That's so funny.
This would be me if I had the potential.
That shit is crazy.
Yeah, no, it's nuts. But the store,
look like that.
The store is cool though. It's Wild Fork over in Plainview.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of like not farm. They have a lot of wild caught salmons and fish and whatnot. And they label everything. They have elk, they have boar, they have ground beef. I mean, just think about how much food you go through, you know, on a weekly basis, especially when you're trying to watch your shit.
The amount of food is that's a I need a job.
Yeah,
just for food.
Yeah, you need a side hustle just for the food.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, you eat a lot.
I eat like crazy. Like a lot.
Do you now? Here's the question: do you prep a lot of your own shit, or do you get because obviously I see you at Empire. When
I do a couple of different things, right? I have a client of mine. Her name is Alana. She has a food prep company. Once Oski stopped making food, he was my food prep guy, and Omar would tell you I would order 10 pounds of chicken, 10 pounds of ground beef, 10 pounds of shrimp, and on occasion I'd switch out the shrimp for fish. I like cod. 10 pounds, 10 pounds, 10 pounds. I would order that to be delivered on a Sunday.
And it's all pre-cooked.
Pre-cooked, and I separate it into my meals, half, and put the next half into the freezer.
So does that last you 2 weeks?
Monday, Tuesday, 2 weeks.
I'm just saying.
I'm
30 pounds of food.
I'm done by Friday.
Damn, son.
5 days.
So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Damn. By the time the middle of Wednesday, I've take the food from the freezer out and put it to thaw out. And then Wednesday afternoon into evening, Thursday, Friday, is the rest of the food. It's all done. That 30 pounds of protein is finished in 5 days. And usually it's because Saturday I'll have the kids and I'll be going out, hanging out with the kids.
Yeah.
And I'll eat stupid shit.
Yeah, eating on the fly.
Just because. More so because like for my birthday, right? I don't celebrate my birthday. My kids are like, Daddy, we want to get you a cake. And I'm like, I don't.
Batman on.
Like, you know, my mom is just like, dude, come on, stop ruining this shit, man. Just at least get a cake for the kids. Like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, fine. So I get a cake, and then I get a whole rodizio chicken, and I put my candles in the chicken. And I let the kids blow out the cake, and I blow out the candles in the chicken, and I eat the chicken. That's what I do. I don't eat sweets like that.
Don't
You
eat
know,
it?
Yeah, I know.
I just don't. That's just not me.
Not even a slice.
I don't have the I don't care for sugar. It don't really do that for me. You know what I'm saying?
But
That's
like-
my fat Italian.
But it's your
genes.
birthday, bro.
But you know why? And I've always brought this up, and I hate to put it like this, but I'm a performance guy. I like to feel good,
Right.
right?
100%. I agree.
Whenever I eat cakes, cookies, and stuff like that, after the first bite, you taste the decadence of it. You're like, oh, this is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So sweet, so nice. It's something completely different than what I'm accustomed eating. Of course you like it. And then I get a stomach ache.
Well, it's
Then I
engineered
start
for you to
feeling,
like it.
then I start feeling queasy in my stomach because of such high sugar content and saturated fat that I'm just
Your
not.
body doesn't use
Yeah, it just doesn't make me feel good.
Yeah.
And then my stomach gets bloated off one little piece of cake or a cookie. When I was working for Juan at the cookie dealer, the first day he ever came to me before he blew up, he was like, Jamal, we used to train all the time. He's like, Jamal, try this cookie. Tell me what you think. And I bit the cookie and I'm like, listen, this is a great cookie. It tastes amazing. But I can't eat all this. Like, this is making me feel
What was the whole
funky.
cookie? It was like 700, 800 calories.
over 1,000 calories.
Is it over 1,000?
Yeah,
Each cookie.
These cookies are ridiculous.
So I was just like, I can't stomach that.
I had some tomfoolery at Chip City in town.
Yeah.
Chip City is another like cookie spot.
Yeah.
They do,
A new joint, right?
yeah.
For the most
popping
part.
up there in the retail space.
There's one in Garden City.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I went in there. This was a while ago when they first opened up in town. And I went in there and I looked at the cookies and they said serving size. They said 250 calories for a serving. I was like, oh shit, so like 500 for a cookie?
But it's like a quarter serving.
4 servings for a cookie.
Cookie, exactly.
I was like,
Yeah.
So over 1,000 calories right there.
we're all set. I
Yeah.
bought them already and I had them in my hand.
It's-
And I read the sign then and I went, oh.
What's the use of buying a cookie like that to bite it and put it in your fridge and wait
You're eating the whole
for
thing.
the next day? You're gonna bite it again, so you get 4 bites out of it for 1,000 calories. For what?
Yeah.
You ain't gonna eat it like that. You're gonna eat the whole thing right there, and it's just
Be a gavone. I'm
So I
gonna eat
just
the whole
don't-
thing.
yeah.
And then I'm gonna think about it the entire time while it's in my fridge. I'm be like,
Yeah.
oh shit. I
You
got
might
the
as well
rest-
eat it.
I got the rest. Well, that's what I did. I did that last week.
Yeah.
I was trying to eat clean. I got pizza. I bought 3 slices of pizza, and they were delicious, man. And I'm literally.
Yeah.
I get home. I eat the margarita slice. I eat the buffalo slice, and the pepperoni with the hot honey is sitting there. And I just went, all right, let's put this in the freezer. I took a bite before I put it in the freezer. and
Didn't
I put it in the
last.
freezer. Dude, I'm sitting down on my couch. I'm just sitting down, and I'm just like,
fuck it.
well, if I want to eat clean tomorrow, when am I going to eat that pizza again? I said, well,
I gotta just
already
knock
ate
it down
I already
right
ate that
now.
shit tonight.
Well,
I might
knock
as
it
well
down
finish
right
this
now.
shit right now.
Yeah.
But exactly what you said. I ate it, and then
You feel like
I felt
trash.
shit. Not only did I feel like shit, you feel. I don't know if it's just us beating ourselves up because we know better, but I get guilty, and then the other side of me is like, if I'm fasting for like not even intentionally fasting, but if I'm fasting for a few hours,
Yeah.
I didn't really feel like having breakfast. 1, 2 o'clock comes and I'll eat something. Sometimes I'll justify eating something that's a little higher calorie because I haven't eaten all day yet.
Mhm.
But then I'll eat something that I know is just a little, like maybe a ham and Swiss on a croissant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
I'll eat that instead of maybe some eggs and a piece of sourdough. I'll eat that, but instantly felt
You feel
tight
it.
all day. I felt great.
Yeah.
Like, everything felt good. Veiny in the arms, like, oh, we're feeling a little tight, a little lean-ish.
Yeah.
Eat something like that, my body reacts instantly, like
Yeah.
you said. You start
Yeah.
feeling bloated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, it's definitely a big problem. I feel like also an epidemic. People just love sugar and they love to just indulge on things that are not conducive to their health. And I think definitely a lot of people definitely need to get educated better on how they need to eat and how they need to maintain a healthy, balanced lifestyle in general. I think diet is definitely one of them. The way that people exercise is definitely one of them.
And where do people start, though? Here's one of the problems.
Yeah.
And because I want you to continue on this point, because it's important. But where do people start? That's the issue. People don't know where to start. And just like a lot of people, I've talked about it in previous episodes of just when you wake up too much to the world around you, to the options that are presented to you on a daily basis for food and just in general, you almost get paralysis by knowledge, and it becomes too much because it's great to keep it simple. Like, listen, everybody watching, the men in this room, Jade built different. He just always has 100%. Been. He really is. He's a freak of nature. He really is.
Yeah,
and in the most positive, complimentary way I can ever give you, my brother. For real.
Only physically,
I appreciate that.
That's what I'm saying. It's just an all-around package. Most of the time, you get one dude that's just like one thing, and then they lack something else. He's just like a fucking freight train. He's just ready to go in all areas, and it's just it's motivating to watch. But then he won't even touch the sweets. Whereas me, I won't touch the sweets, but then. Listen, I have my cave days where I'm just like, fuck, all right, I'll touch the sweets. But he's 1,000% correct because the second that you touch those sweets, it's like, oh, now you're in a pit. Now it's going to be at least a day before you start feeling like yourself again because you got to get all this extra shit out of your system.
Well, what you just said, right? Like you can definitely touch the sweets, but I think there is definitely, it's in moderation. You don't want to overdo it. Like you can have a cheat day. He doesn't like cheat days, right? Because
my cheat day, I have cheat days, but they're not like
rotisserie chicken with birthday.
It's just more. It's just more chicken.
Yeah, it's just more pro. It's just what I love.
Brazilian steakhouse.
Oh, dude, bro, you know me. When you want to go?
Gather up, Fab.
My clients got me gift certificates, bro. I got. Let's go eat.
Let's do it whenever.
Let's go eat.
Let's do it one day next week.
Every time I walk in that place, the owner's like, "Oh shit, start cooking the meat for tomorrow, bro. He ain't leaving here for the next 4 hours."
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite. But my cheat is still something that I feel like I'm cheating, but it doesn't make me feel disgusting.
Yeah.
So I love burgers, and I love burgers with an egg on it.
Mm-hmm.
I love burgers with a little bit of bacon on it, right? The whole 9 yards. So when I go and do that for my cheat, I get it, and people will laugh at me, but I'll get it on a gluten-free bun and Canadian bacon instead of regular bacon. Not that I don't eat regular bacon, but here I am. I'm eating cheese. I don't normally eat cheese.
Yeah, you said the dairy fucks you
right?
up.
Dairy fucks me up, right? So I'm putting cheese on there. I'm not going to continue just to pile on saturated fat, even though it is my cheat. I'm still getting in saturated fat. I'm getting in much more than I normally would eat. I'm not just going to pile it on just to be gluttonous. And the problem when it comes to sugar, it's the same thing with like dopamine responses, right?
Exactly.
Once your body knows there's a dopamine response not knows, but it feels a dopamine response for a certain thing, it's sought out by you on a regular basis,
Tapping
right?
like a heroin addict.
Well, why you think one of the highest responses to dopamine is what? Cocaine. That's why once you do that and you feel that dopamine response, it's very difficult for you to pull away.
You know what they're finding out now? The highest dopamine response now, which is very similar to cocaine.
I know you're about to say it.
Porn?
No, not porn.
Sex.
Well, I mean,
Loving.
Wait, you guys are
not
into
sex. No.
Loving, yo.
No, not sex. The research is showing taking cold baths.
Oh, cold baths. Yes. The ice plunges,
just as effective as doing cocaine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
with the response.
They've shown that it's insane. Like it's like 50 times the amount of dopamine release.
Yeah. And sugar hits you and gives you a response. And that's why then, aside from insulin shoots and all that stuff.
What you do, right? You are one, you're educated in this, right? And two, you know how your body reacts to certain things. Certain people, their tolerance to certain foods are so high because they're so used to this level of sugar that
they don't even know how to feel good though.
It's hard for them to take it out their diet, right? Because they're just so tolerable to that. That's the hardest thing. Like you said, what's the first step? It's taking accountability, taking ownership, and okay, I need to make this change. I need to do something about this in order to revamp my lifestyle.
And understand that it's going to suck because it's like caffeine. It's like anything. You're going to have withdrawal symptoms from something that you've been using and abusing for a long time.
Exactly. Yeah.
And this gets into some of the context that we want to talk about. But when does it start, right? At a young age.
Well, it has to start at a young age.
But you don't want to sit there. It doesn't. You don't want to sit there and harp on calories and all this kind of stuff with your children like that. But you got to teach them, because children are sponges. You got to teach them healthy. You got to give them healthy choices, and teach them about healthier foods, right? I'm not telling you not to give your kids snacks and stuff like that, but if there are healthier snacks to choose from, by all means, choose those instead, right? So you could teach them from young, and most people aren't taught from young. Most people are more so as parents, and I hate to like just say this about a lot of parents, but, and I understand, like, life gets hectic and you're busy, and the easiest thing is to just be like, let me just pick them up McDonald's and jump on your iPad real quick. I just need a moment to myself. I get it. I totally get it. But that leads to habits that will fuck your children up for a lifetime.
iPad kids.
And it's going to take so much for you to try to reverse what you've taught at that young age, that it could be detrimental. So the cases now have been through the roof with juvenile diabetes, right?
Yeah.
And the reason being is 9 times out of 10, it's just what you're allowing your kids to eat. And the problem is, there's a statistic, right? If one of your parents is obese, your child has a 30% chance of being obese. If both your parents are obese, your child has a 70% chance, not 100, but 70. And you want to know the 30 percentile that's left out that don't become obese? It's knowledge that causes them. It's the vision and being like, I don't want to look and feel like this.
Predisposed genetically to that.
And it's the knowledge. They gain knowledge as they get older. But most parents, if they're in that realm of being obese, they're just pushing their own lifestyle onto their children.
Yeah. Because that's all they know as well. I come from a family that didn't go to the gym. My mom kickboxed a little bit. I love, Mom Deuce is number one for me. She's amazing. But like, she doesn't get a lot of what I've done over the years.
Yes.
She really doesn't. I mean, even when I tell her I'm pushing it in jiu-jitsu or I'm pushing it with like the heavy sandbags, her first response is always, is it necessary? You need to? It's like, well,
it's that old school mindset.
Yeah, I mean, my grandfather fucking lived off Diet Coke and not drinking any water. I'm surprised he made it till in his 90s. I mean, it's insane.
Diet Coke back then was different, though. It is now.
I mean, yes. Yeah, I mean, the real Coke when he was drinking it back in the day. But like the Diet Coke, all I know is we used to have to badger my grandfather to drink fucking water.
Really?
Water. And we're over here hammering a gallon a day, like trying to get that in. And we feel the effects
of not
don't have that.
Yeah.
The lack of hydration, just your mind, your body. So it's like y'all just raw dogging shit for like how many years? On Diet Coke every day?
Yeah.
No gym, nothing? No physical fitness?
I get what you're saying, but I feel like today in modern society, it's a completely different world where the type of food, the type of ingredients that are in foods are very detrimental to people's cognitive functions, which is why kids are more prone to autism, like
ADHD,
syndromes and everything like that. It has a lot to do with the diet that's in the foods as their brains mature. Also, like you mentioned, lifestyle choices, right? A lot of parents don't really, but it's now changing. Like the fitness industry has completely evolved in the past 20, 30 years, we can say, where people are starting to see how it's affecting their lifestyle. They want to start being more active. They know that it's important for them. So I think the shift has definitely geared more towards healthier lifestyles. It's just people need to take more ownership in that. They need to see why they need to see, they what the problem with the medical system today is people are so dependent on doctors, and they have less that they're taking less ownership on themselves. Like for example, like Jamal, right? He has shoulder pain, right? Did you go to the doctor?
Pain.
What?
Thank God Fab.
Everything fucking.
Thank God
pain.
Fab isn't here.
Oh my God.
Right? But
did I go to the doctor? Eventually, I ended up going to the doctor.
What did
the
doctor do for you? Nothing.
MRIs, X-rays, the whole 9 yards.
To get the MRI, you needed to first get an X-ray, I'm sure.
Yeah, they put me through all types of stuff. They didn't want to give me anything, but
then you're pulling the teeth.
It's funny because if I have a primary care physician that never sees me, but if I do show up in your office, I'm showing up for a real reason.
Yeah.
If I'm telling you, listen, dude, I've gone the route of every alternative medication thing I could possibly do. I've done therapy. I've done this. I've done that. I try to work around my injuries, everything. I'm scaling back. I need to see what's going on in here, right? Or wherever it is. So just at least I need to just know what it is. I don't need you to tell me that you need to do surgery on me. Tell me what it is. I'll be the one to choose whether or not I'm going to do surgery or not, or take the route of working around it and trying to keep my mobility that like we worked on,
Right.
and try to gain strength within certain ranges that are important for me.
There's some stem cells. There's a lot of
Yeah.
there's a lot of
which
alternate
is
options.
great. What you just alluded to is you're going for advice, but you're not depending on them.
Nah.
Right? That's the worst thing that people could do is they depend is because they're uneducated. They don't know any better. They're not going and seeking out alternative forms of medicine. And I think that is one of the worst things you could do is because your lifestyle becomes completely it becomes a complete sham. Like you don't live the way that you want to live, and it's because you're being put on medications. You're saying don't do this, don't do that. That's not the way a human body wants to function. We are creatures of movement.
I tell like a lot of my clients were like, oh, I got this kind of injury, that kind of injury, and I'm like, listen. So when you get injured and you go to the physical and then go to the doctor, and the doctor tells you go to physical therapy, what does a physical therapist make you do?
A general physical therapist, or the ones that we're used to.
If you have an injury to your arm, he's gonna make you work things with your arm.
Yeah, well, they're gonna
around
the guys
the
that
injury.
we go to. They're gonna
Exactly.
They're gonna manipulate the muscle a little bit. They're gonna get some blood flow going in there, work out.
So now the doctor, thank God, the doctor is sending you to a therapist, but you're not even realizing that the therapist, here's your injury. Let's work this area. So we're gonna work everything around it to take the pressure off of where the injury is, right? To help heal, right? To get you back to having good mobility, function, the whole 9 yards, right? You don't think about it that way. Therapy is just therapy. It's what you do when you go see a therapist. You don't realize that, damn, I got to go to the gym on my own and just work out because my muscles are my best shock absorbers.
Yeah.
The more conditioned and the stronger my muscles are, right, the more protected and the stronger my joints will be. The less likely I am to having tendonitis, ligament damage, and things of that nature. So you take, for instance, guys like Ed Reed and Ray Lewis, Troy Polamalu, guys who played almost into their 40s at one of the roughest sports that known to man.
Way rougher back then when they were playing.
Exactly. So now these guys played so long, and you know what they all had in common, which with a few others, and forgive me for leaving out their names, but they were gym rats. They would finish a game and pull out a deck of cards if they were away before they flew home and do push-ups and jump squats with every card they turned over. They were gym rats. Look at LeBron. He's a gym rat. He loves to work out. Everybody that's in there conditioning their body and working out, don't think that immediately it's just, oh, they're on some kind of drugs. No. The protocol they're following is exactly what your body needs to do. Yeah. A guy way back in the day, Juan Carlos, he wrote a book called Eat, Move, and Be Healthy. And it's the most simple fucking shit, and it's the most important thing. Simple. And it's the truth.
Yeah.
Eat, move, and be healthy.
Yeah.
That's it. And people have lost sight of the healthy eating part and the movement part. Now, we have a community now that's heavy into fitness, but they're heavy into fitness because of social media.
100%.
Right? And that's good because people are getting out there and moving, right? But I do think they also have a misconstrued concept of what they're doing it for and the reasons they're doing it. I think it's all attention-based, unfortunately, but,
For a lot of people, it's attention-based. The people that really are the ones that hit the pedal and really get going are the ones that either were super skinny and they wanted to put muscle on, or the opposite, which is they were super heavy. They hated how they looked. They hated taking their shirt off every summer when it came around time, like myself. And they wanted to. I know it's crazy.
I hate taking my shirt off.
I still do. Even when I'm in shape. Even when I'm in shape, I still don't.
This is my photographer, my videographer, bro. He has to literally, for lack of better terms, no homo, coax me out of my shirt.
Yep.
when we're doing a photo shoot. I'll quicker put on a tank top or a cutoff to do the whole video. And he's like, Jamal, what are you doing, dude? Take your fucking shirt off. You have to. And I'm like,
At least at the end.
I'm like, all right, I take it off. And he's like, now this is gonna be a video, bro. But I don't like.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Even
man.
when I'm in shape, man, I was shredded for my bodybuilding shows. Even when I was doing like all the crazy hit workouts and the jujitsu, I still wasn't taking my shirt off. I was just like, it's just that has been ingrained in me since I was younger. That's a mental issue from being heavy that I just personally I know is something that I have to work through.
Right?
Oh, without question. Yeah, the people are looking at you, people are judging you, and I even did 2 bodybuilding shows, and I hated standing up there, even though I was shredded. Hated standing up there by myself.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm with you too.
So
you went from being, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
you went
good.
from being someone who's self-conscious about the way you look,
And he was heavy too.
I was
and you were
270.
heavy, to doing weightlifting competitions.
Yeah, I
or
did
bodybuilding
bodybuilding.
competitions.
Yeah, the bodybuilding.
Bodybuilding, him turning to bodybuilding is what kind of turned a corner for you to lose weight and get in shape. And that was a process.
The abbreviated version of how it started was my dad showed me pumping iron, and I was heavy at the time. And I was like, oh shit, this is pretty cool. Like just clanging and banging weights and this and that. And then I joined Bevs. This is like 2011. I joined Bevs, and I dropped from 270 down to 190 in the summer.
Nice.
And then and then after that, I was working out for a while, started dating a girl, went back up to 240. We both went away to college. Within a matter of weeks, the relationship ended, and I was kind of devastated, didn't know where to go. And I said, all right, let me try competing. And I dropped from 240 to 150 in a year, and I competed.
And she fell in love again.
I did. I fell in love again, but I also I also fell into the dark side of the sport, which is
What's that?
the steroids, the constant food being shoved down your throat when realistically, at 150 pounds, I didn't need 300 grams of protein a day.
Oof. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. And you learn a lot. And but the path that I've taken has brought me to where I'm at now. And then, over the years, being off season, considering doing it again, this and that, kind of just always in the back of my mind, because that was always the life that I had lived for a long time. And then learning alternative ways of training through Tom, through OG, through all these different spots of just like hit workouts and this and that. And then I started jujitsu like 20 months ago. So it's a little over a year and a half at this point. And I just fucking fell in love with that. And I've just been loving that. I got my blue belt in August, and it's been a great journey at Sarah's. So shouts to Sarah's. I train over there in Huntington and on Jericho Turnpike, and it's been amazing. But I do feel like, especially the last couple of months, I haven't watched what I ate the same way as I normally would. So I'm up like 10 pounds. So I'm like 199 now instead of 189, 190. I feel stronger, but I also feel slower.
Okay.
So my speed has diminished a little bit. And I feel it in the middle of like, if I'm on round 4, I'm on my 4th 5-minute round of the night, and I'm huffing a little bit more than I was a year ago. But I'm also able to like really maneuver,
right? Move better.
More, not only more strategically, because the knowledge is coming as I'm getting better at the sport, but because I'm able to like put a little oomph behind my movements now. So it's a push and pull. It's always like a balancing act of like, where can I sit in the middle of this heavier to speed and performance based? Where can I sit in the middle of it where I'm happy with how I look, I'm happy with how I'm performing, and I'm also not killing myself in the kitchen during training? Like, that was the other side of it, which we could talk to as well. It's like the overtraining side of it.
Yeah.
I want to go back to
that's big too.
Well, I experienced that. I was doing OG every single day. I was doing it 5 to 6 days a week, sometimes even not taking a rest day at all, on top of jujitsu every single night. And I mean, when you're training twice a day like that, and then you have to work to make a living, and you're not just a professional athlete that gets paid to just do what they do, I don't know, like it was tough to get my meals in because I have to work. So it's like fasted in the morning, went to the gym in the morning at 5 a.m., didn't get home until about 7:30, 8. Then you're taking care of the dog. Then it's like, okay, I guess I should eat something. You eat something. Then you start getting your day going. And then like maybe you eat one more time in the afternoon. Then it's like, oh shit, it's 5:30, 6 o'clock, time for jujitsu. Then you go to jujitsu. You finish at 8 o'clock at night, and you're just like, I gotta slam more food. So most of those days I was maybe getting 800 to 1,200 calories sometimes because you don't want like
You'll definitely overtrain.
but like doing that every
If your
single
food,
fucking
yes,
day.
if your
dude,
food doesn't combat what your workload, you can overtrain very easy.
So I'm dealing with some of the issues from that now. So like my right arm doesn't extend all the way. I went to Scott the other day. My right arm doesn't extend all the way. I'm having supination issues. The tendonitis is just, it has locked my arm up so bad.
Mhm.
And like when I roll, like most athletes, there's a fucking issue and it's not your arm fell off. You're going to work through it.
Yeah.
So when you're in the middle of a roll, you don't really feel it.
Yeah.
Unless that arm gets taken for an arm bar and you
Yeah.
can't extend it out all the way and you're just like, oh, okay, let go. Like,
Immediately tap.
yeah, immediately. So
Yeah.
so it's been quite the journey, and it's so funny because like as you go through, you understand that you need to take the rest because it's so important
Oh yeah.
to be able to back off the gas pedal so you can perform better the next training session. But my mind is, I'm on a fucking roll. I got to keep going.
Yeah.
And the problem is you start breaking down. And I know this from
Well, that's
years of
yeah.
training.
That's
But it's like my monkey brain, my stupid primal brain just goes, well, fuck it. We're killing it right now. Let's go. Like you've been tapping dudes out yesterday. Like you feel good. And then you go that night and you just get whomped the entire night because you're just tired.
I like that kind of brain.
I know you do.
But you see, only
fucking like that.
only a certain amount of people are able to tolerate that kind of.
I don't have your genetics, Jay.
I've
got the chubby Italian genetics.
You know, one thing about Jamal, it's not really. I mean, it could be partly genetics, but a lot of it is he had to learn. One, I think it was also the environment that you grew up in. Right.
Yeah.
Definitely that kind of brought you up, that rugged lifestyle. And also, you had to reprogram the way that your mind and body are syncing. Like your mind will tell you, or your body will say no, but you're like, nope, I got to keep going.
Yes.
Right. And that takes a lot of willpower. A lot of people don't have that willpower to do that. But it's possible. You want to talk about that? That's
Why don't we go back to the first point, because I think that's an important point that we didn't
rest?
really even before
kids.
that. Where do you start? I think that's the most important.
Where do you
piece.
start?
Yeah.
So for me, where I started, and I want you guys to kind of talk about it as well. The best jumping off point for me was I had a chiropractor that taught me how to count macros, and this is before macro dieting was even a thing. But it opened up my eyes to understand how a calorie is a calorie,
Okay.
and why these nutritional labels are what they are. Like, how did we get to this equaling 300 calories for this protein bar?
Yeah.
And then you start realizing, okay, 9 grams of fat per 9 grams, 9 calories for every gram of fat, 4 calories for every gram of protein or carb. You go, oh, okay, that starts to make sense. But once again, we're in one of the largest information highway type generations ever. The second that we have an idea or we have a question, we can ask our phones, and now with AI, we can ask it, and it'll scour the internet for the answer. And whether that answer is correct or not, you still get presented with an answer.
Yeah.
So the problem is there are a lot of people that depend on the government and the general powers that be, FDA and all these places. They depend on them like, well, they have our best interest in mind. And when you're younger, you don't realize how detrimental a lot of these foods, like you even said, cognitive, not only just feeling wise and performance wise, but like how it degrades your interior versus like somebody could look great on the outside, but their insides are rotting because all they eat are seed oils, red dye number 3, which they randomly decided to ban now after over 20 to 30 years of using it.
Yeah.
Now it's bad. Now it causes cancer. Whereas if you
you know what the reason they banned it now?
because the new administration's coming in and they're going to start banning
that's
it
one.
too.
But there's
And-
other shit they want to take your mind off of.
Of course.
All the other fucked up ingredients. Let's just, you know what? Let's attack red. Let's pull that out real quick. People will feel good for a second. Meanwhile, A, B, C, D, and F is still in the fucking ingredients.
So red 3 is bad, but red 50 isn't.
Exactly.
Yellow 3. All of these different things. You know, RFK put a video out talking about atrazine. Like all of these different chemicals. And like you said, when you eat that first slice of cake and you go, oh, like you taste the decadence. You go, oh shit. it's not just because it tastes good. It's because these ingredients are all combined in a very specific way to get you hooked and want to eat more.
Yeah.
That's the whole point that these chemicals are made up. Dude, I eat one Sour Patch Kid, I'm going for the whole bag. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, that's my thing.
And that's the thing. Once you introduce that to children,
Yes.
children live off of impulse. So the moment they have that feeling for what you've given them sugar. The way they feel with the sugar, they want to turn to the sugar all the time.
Mhm.
They'll turn to the point where they're going to be like, you know what? I'd rather eat. Listen,
A bag of candy.
I'm not perfect, but at the same time, there's days when, when I have my kids and I'm all over my kids, I'm just like, yo, you know what we're going to do today? We're going to go out to eat, but we're going to eat dessert first. It's more for them that I'm doing it
Mhm.
because I don't get a chance to do anything with them during the week. So I gotta make my time with them just like extra.
Yeah.
I'm always doing extra shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things I would do. But even when I do it, I'm like, I don't really like this. But I do combat it the moment, especially my little man. He's such a wonderful, wonderful, happy, high energy kid. The moment you feed him the wrong shit, he's a lunatic.
Yeah.
Oh
But
my
and it's sad.
goodness.
It's so sad because he can't even control it. So I'll give it to him because I know he loves it and he just wants to have like a little snack. I'll give it to him. But what I do, I'm like, yo, I'm giving you this, but we're going to run the hills. I'm running you till you puke, pretty much. I'm giving you this, but we're getting it out of you as fast as we're putting it in.
As fast as it hits that bloodstream.
Or I'll literally take him out and have him run the block. I'm like, let's see, let's go. I remember taking him to the track, and I'm like, listen, 4 times around is a mile. Let's see if you can do it.
I want 8.
And he's just like
You would do
going.
something like that.
And little man, he'll just go, but he's pumped full of sugar,
Yeah.
right? And after we're done, he's chill. And I'm like, perfect. That's how I got to combat this, right? But a lot of times, parents will give their kids the sugar and just let it do what it is. And instead of trying to have them burn it off or utilize it, they end up getting upset because your kids are bouncing off the wall. That's your fault. It's nobody else's fault, right? But it's taught, and kids now, they lean towards the sugar. They lean towards the snack. It's what you do. So if you can kind of fight that and give more whole foods, more stuff like that, the better. So if I fast and come off a fast, 7 days of water, and I slowly come off and I'm going to eat vegetables and egg whites to start my first meal, right? The broccoli and plain egg whites taste like a fucking like I'm eating from a 5-star restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously it's because I'm depleted and I haven't eaten for a while. But also my taste buds, it's embracing everything about this food. I'm tasting everything. By the time I get my first meal with red meat in it, red meat tastes like candy.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Because you're resetting your palate, you're resetting your
exactly.
microbiome.
That's one of the things I love about doing a fast like that. When it comes to kids, you got to program them that way. If you teach them to eat vegetables and you plug them with vegetables, they end up liking it. And it's when you start giving them the other foods, they want to stray away from the vegetables and have that instead.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to.
Now, how easy is it to just give them the other foods? That's the problem.
It's a problem.
When
You
start
can't be
looking
lazy.
Exactly. When you start looking at the convenience factor of things, it's far easier to get Burger King than whip up a meal of chicken, broccoli, and rice at home. It is.
And
It takes 3 seconds to go to that drive-through. And
that's a
unfortunately, the
lifestyle
majority,
choice.
and I want to let you jump in here, the majority of families are going to opt for the latter. They're going to get them. They're going to get the Burger King. They're going to get the fast food meal. They're going to say, fuck it, it's cheaper. It's easier than spending $15 on a package of chicken breasts right now that I still have to cook, that I still have to clean, and I don't have the time, I don't have the energy. And then unfortunately, you're just giving your kids all these things where one burger has 50 ingredients in it. Why?
Yeah.
It should be bread, so flour, however they make the bread for that, flour, starch, whatever they do. Burger, it should be hamburger meat, so ground beef, cheese, if they're putting a slice of cheese on there, onions, and that's it. Why does this require 50 ingredients? Same thing with Chick-fil-A. Even a chicken nugget.
Yeah.
So what are your kids ingesting that now they're having these problems mentally in school? They can't sit still. It's fucking with their development. And And unfortunately, you bring them to the doctor and they throw their hands up because they've been taught how to deal with the symptoms that are in front of them versus work actively to not have them happen in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I do think that sugar is not necessarily a bad thing. I think the quantity of sugar given is the problem. Also, the type of uh um the type of food that we give to the kids, and the lifestyle choices that we as parents make influences the kids. I think we could definitely do better with that. But for example, like sugar is a carbohydrate. We need carbohydrates. That is important. A lot of people want to stay away from carbs, or they feel like carbs are the worst thing in the world. Your brain feeds off carbs. You need carbs. Now the
Brain
type of
function, guaranteed.
right, the type of carbs that you ingest is the problem, right? There's refined carbs, there's simple carbs, there's complex carbs. Like you mentioned, the type of bun that you're using could make a big difference. So it definitely all goes back to the lifestyle choices and taking ownership in that. How are you cooking at home? What type of they've even done studies on the pans. Like, you need to change your pans. The
The
type
the
of
nonstick pans have PFAS in them, which are forever chemicals.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the problem. You should be using a cast iron pan, or you should be using as long as you don't have iron issues, like your iron,
Right.
you're holding too much iron in your body. If you're iron deficient, cast irons are actually one of the best ways to get iron into your body.
And the food tastes better.
The food does taste better. It does.
Tastes
It
a
tastes
lot
better
better.
with a
Big
cast iron
time.
pan. Or you just
Big
use
time.
stainless steel.
Yeah.
That's what I use. I use stainless steel pans. I got tired of doing the back and forth with non-stick and all
Yeah.
this bullshit with the Teflon and all this stuff. And I just said, you know what?
Yeah, it's not.
It's just easier to just get some stainless steel pans. Yeah, it sticks here and there every now and then, but it's better than having to deal with that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and going even the cooking oils that we use.
Yep.
Right. We gotta make better decisions with that. Um, and like you mentioned, right? You said that your chiropractor taught you these simple things, right? But for a lot of people, they learn this stuff, but to them they just revert back to behavioral patterns that they're so accustomed to. The
Yeah.
human, yeah, exactly. The human body loves to take the path of least resistance.
They don't.
Right.
They choose not to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. The reason why Jamal's the way he is because he defined that, right. He didn't take the path of least resistance, right. The mindset is the biggest issue. People need to take accountability. They need to start taking more ownership in this. One is getting educated, and like you said, right, technology today is so advanced, it's so abundant. You can use it on your phone and educate yourself. Like you don't really like in today in modern medicine, you don't have to go to a doctor for a simple back pain. Like you can learn how to take care of yourself today, but people choose not to do that. They go to their primary care who tells them go to an orthopedic, and then they just go looking for problems. It's the worst thing you can do. It will set you back.
I think we're in the changing of the guard, though, now. I think the older generations, like my grandparents, they believed everything that doctors said. I think our generation and
You'd
younger,
be surprised.
I think our generation and younger is on the
Oh,
is on the
100
mentality
yes.
of second opinion, or what can I research on my own?
Shit. Second, third, fourth, and fifth.
Yeah, what can
Yeah.
I research on my own that's going to get me? Maybe there's like a holistic type of
there
approach.
Are, but I do this for a living. There are a lot of people who still depend on doctors.
At what
But
age?
yes.
At what age gap, though? At what age grouping are you seeing?
But you all but you know
Are you
why?
seeing
It's
it mostly in
because
older or younger?
both. But
Interesting.
I see it mostly in the older, but the younger, I still see it is because their
Their
parents
parents.
haven't transitioned yet. But the newer generation are slowly starting to see the difference. Yes, you are correct. But it's the parents need to take and understand that there are better routes to take. You know, like why do we need to depend on a broken system? It just doesn't make any sense to me. anymore. You know, like we as humans need to do better.
Well, I think it's the truth. I feel like,
Camera. No, you
The,
good. I'm just looking. I'm just looking. No, you
I
good,
feel
you
like
good.
you're right, 100%. But I also feel like people have to want to do that. They have to want to change, and they have to understand that they need to change, right? You got so many people saying, go to the doctor.
Yeah.
And then you have a few people saying, try this instead,
Yeah.
right? So they're probably going to just continue to move with the masses until they educate themselves. And when they find out, and it's unfortunate because like with my parents, I'll tell my parents to do something and they'll be like, whatever.
Yeah.
They'll go to the doctor and the doctor will tell them the same thing I said. And they'll be like, you know what the doctor told me? I said, do this. And I said,
Didn't I just tell you
motherfucker,
that?
I just told you to do this. No, you didn't. You never said that, right? So it's also who it's coming from, right? So,
Oh, it's called the white coat syndrome. It's a thing.
yeah,
It really is a
of
thing.
course.
They would, just because you're a doctor and you have a bunch of letters after your name, they would prefer to listen to that person, even though you said the same thing to them. And you're not educated apparently because you didn't go to medical school.
On one of the podcasts we did, I had said how the reason I just lost my shit with doctors years and years ago. I mean, I was running myself ragged. I was training people from 4 a.m. till 10 o'clock at night, and then leaving and going and bouncing at private events, and then going right back to work, not even taking a nap. I would go some days 7 days straight.
How you did it, bro.
I was just making bank, and I was like, yeah, this what's up. It's all about the grind. I was just so caught up that weeks and weeks of it, I ended up being like, damn, man, I'm beat, dude. I'm really, really beat up right now. So I go to the doctor, and I'm like, listen, I'm feeling really run down, and I just needed just a checkup or whatever. The nurse took all my vitals, everything. The machine. Doctor comes in, has his back turned to me the whole time. He walks in with his head down, turns his back to me and to the counter and picks up my folder. Now I'm sitting on the medical table, and he's looking. He's like, so you're feeling exhausted lately?
No
I
eye
said,
contact.
no eye contact, nothing. He's like, you're extremely tired lately, you said. And I said, yeah. He says, well, I mean, I hate to say it, but you're overweight.
You're fat. I think you told me the story.
And he's like, and I said, overweight. He was like, yeah, at your height, you should be this weight. So technically, with your BMI, you're morbidly obese. And I said, what? And he was like, he turns around, he's like, take your jacket off, lay down. So I leave him staring at him. I'm like, I take my jacket off, I lay down, he raises up my shirt. He's like, oh, you work out. I was like, yeah, man, I work out. He says, well, do you feel sick? And I said, man, I feel great. I feel great right now. I'm done here. I'm done with this bullshit. You know? So when I tell my parents, if they need to go get a doctor, I said, go and try a few doctors, right? Because you feel comfortable with a doctor. The doctor that sits down and talks to you and looks in your face and thinks about other methods than just to pump you with fucking medication and tells you how to change certain parts of your lifestyle to make the ailments you have go away prior to saying at this point, it's so far on to save your life, we need to give you medication.
Yeah.
That's the guy you go with.
Well, it's being reactive. That's the problem.
Yes.
It's dealing with what you're presented with at the end stage. And that's why there's so many end stage cancers and all this different stuff that people just are presented with. They're shocked that they have it.
Yeah.
Like, I've been feeling like shit for a little while, but I didn't think it was this. And they're just like, okay, well, now your options are chemo or XYZ. And you're just like, well, what could I have done to have prevented this? Like, okay, take family history. Take all of these different things that could have been genetically, predetermined for you to get these things. What could I have done to like maybe stay healthier? Or it couldn't have been the lack of exercise all these years. It couldn't have been the lack of real nutrients and vitamins and taking care of yourself. And listen, truth be told, meditation, breathing techniques, ice baths, none of that would have helped.
Yeah.
Your sedentary lifestyle, accumulating with tons of chemicals that you were eating all over the time, just never doing anything positive besides going to work on a Monday, coming home every day until Friday, until you waited for the weekend, prayed for the weekend to come, induced yourself with alcohol, any type of recreational drugs. I'm obviously speaking in like a very you
Yeah.
know,
You know,
A broad spectrum,
why.
broad spectrum, but
but
like,
it's true.
these are the things that they should be teaching you,
But
as
you
opposed
know,
to. And listen, this is one of the reasons I
so-
just put us on TikTok Live up there, so I don't know how many people are
Nice.
watching. I don't know, but like,
Welcome.
this is one of the issues that we have, like with TikTok, like the ban and all these different things. This is a platform where people can get a lot of information and across a lot of different topics. It could be anything. And unfortunately, when you start to like really look out there, you get a lot of opinions, which can also cause paralysis.
Yeah.
Because you have should I eat carnivore? Should I eat animal based? Should I do this? Should I do that? When realistically, the message should be try and see what works for you.
Yes.
Exactly.
Because it takes
Agreed.
time. And trying healthier methods in anything that you do isn't necessarily going to just hurt you in the long run. It may just be like a couple of weeks where you just don't feel great and you go, okay, let's try something else. But all of these wellness, I'll call them, methods of optimization, they're really there so it's not cookie cutter.
Exactly.
Jamal's got a very different biochem than I do. You have a very different biochem than I do.
100%. Yep.
Everyone is
What works for you guys may not work
May
for
not
me.
work for you.
But
Exactly.
that's the unfortunate thing. People just get
But it's science. That's why it's science.
it's
The
science.
body, it's
People
biology,
get upset
right?
though. They get upset because they try something, it doesn't work for them for a week,
Well, because
and they just throw their hands up and they go, "Fuck it, I'll go eat cookies again."
everybody's accustomed to instant gratification.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go and start working out this week. And after 7 days, I have not reversed what I've done for the past 20 years. This is bullshit. It's not going to work for me. I'm back to my last 20 years.
Yeah.
That's what everybody wants.
Yeah.
I only lost 3 pounds this week. This is bullshit.
They told
That's
me
good for you,
They
man.
told me if I got rid of alcohol, I would feel great immediately, and I don't. It's been 3 days. I'm sober, and now my friends are going out this weekend. It's time to go, have a couple of beers, and you revert right back to the ways instead
Yeah.
of giving your body some time to detox and get accustomed to the new routine.
Yeah.
And as you were saying with the doctors, the tough part about the doctors, I have a lot of respect for doctors. I really do.
Listen, they're very
Because-
educated,
Because listen,
but they're all about their money now.
when we got to go under the knife, I'm not calling my chiro. I'm calling the doctor.
Of course.
Like, what do you think we should do going forward for whatever problem we're presented with? However, the unfortunate side is being reactive instead of proactive in people's treatments, and instead of them just coming in the end stage, there's a lot of box checking that goes on now. There's a lot of like, oh, well, this symptom equals this. As
Yes.
opposed to, you may have this, but why don't we explore a different option? Why don't we do
Yeah.
a full panel of labs?
That's,
Let's dig deep into the labs of what you have blood work wise and see if maybe this is an option versus just, you have this, let's just start treating with a pill. And the pill makes you feel 10 times worse than the actual issue that you were having to begin with.
Yeah, so the reason behind all that is because people are so dependent on a broken system. They will go to a doctor
They believe it.
and they
believe that's what it
exactly. They have to they believe it, and they go to a doctor, and the doctor runs them through a textbook system.
Yep.
The textbook system
checking.
doesn't work, because like you just mentioned earlier, right? Our biologies are all different, right? We need to treat the individual the way that they are, the way that their body functions around their environment. But doctors don't have time for that. Right, and that's because the insurance model or whatever model that they're in is so they don't give them the time.
Well, it's the for-profit model. And the problem is also
exactly.
and I'm really not trying to cut you off on that, but the problem also is you have an 11 o'clock appointment. You don't see the doctor till noon because he had to book 8 appointments within that hour to try to make his nut. Like literally, that's what
His
it winds up being.
copays. He's living off copays because
Yes.
insurance companies aren't really paying him 100% of what he's supposed to get for seeing a patient. So if he knows after seeing this patient, I should have gotten, I hate to say it, but like let's say $100 after this patient, and insurance is like, no, we don't think you deserve 100. We'll give you 20. So you know what?
See,
My
imagine-
9 o'clock slot, I'm booking 4 people. So when they come in with their $20 payment copay, I'm getting that $80 off copay cash, right? And then I'm also getting what the insurance company is giving me at 9 o'clock. I got 4 people at 9:15, 4 people and all I'm doing is pushing my day back.
Yep.
That's all I'm doing. And now you got people sitting in your office for hours upon hours because you also have to make a living, understood.
Understandable.
But, the funny thing is, when you help to fix somebody, not only will they be a client or a patient of yours forever, they're going to refer so much more.
Yeah.
But when you jam pack your schedules and people are like, yo, I came in for 9 o'clock, I wasn't seen till 10:15, they're going to go find another doctor. Yeah. So technically what you're doing is hurting your business more. right? Like I said with my parents, I'd rather you sit down and sit with a doctor that's going to pay attention to you and give you the time to show that he gives a shit.
You know, a lot of people, they don't find value in that. And the reason why is because they put, and this is something that I deal with a lot. I don't work with insurances. I work out of network with all insurances just because of this, because the system is broken. And a lot of people will put money and put their health in front of the value of their money. And that is a big problem. People don't really understand that your health is priceless. Like if
They
I
don't
was to
realize that
tell
until
you-
they're sick. That's the problem.
Exactly.
Yes,
Yeah.
and at that point, now you're willing to pay anything.
Yeah, you'll pay anything. That's what the
and
you know, that's the
you get to the
millionaires
point where you're too late.
That's the
Exactly.
millionaires and billionaires.
Exactly.
They understand that at the
But you know-
late stage that health is everything, and that the money that they made doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily mean anything if their health shit.
Yeah. There are people who really went through every route that they could take to the point where like, okay, I need to start, investing in my health. But some people they just they will refuse. Like I had a patient the other day. This is like I couldn't believe this. She was a 40-year-old female. The crazy thing is she was a physician assistant. She had lower back pain. She had back pain for a very long time, over a year. And I told her, I can definitely help you. I've helped thousands of people like this, which is true. I don't bullshit people. And she's like, I'm depending on my insurance. I'm like, so let me get this straight. And this is the way I talk to people. I said, you've depending on your insurance for a whole year. You've gotten nowhere. And you want to continue to depend on your insurance. And it's like, yeah. And then she tells me, I feel like I'm going to be in pain for the rest of my life. When she told me that, I was like, all right, this is not going to work. Some people just mentally are just.
She's told herself that. You know the saying, if you say you can or you say you can't, you're right.
Yeah.
So you're going to tell yourself, I'm be dealing with this for the rest of my life. You're not looking for a way out. You're not looking to fix this.
Yeah, it's over.
You've already given yourself your reason to
You've
complain.
flown the white flag, and it's just like it is what it is at this point. I guess I'm just going to be like this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What's the saying? You don't know how good you can feel until you feel good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that have just been sick their entire lives, and they just don't ever
They don't even know
understand what optimized feeling
Yeah.
feels like.
Yeah.
I spoke to a client the other day, and he's been a client of mine for going on 20 years. And he's like, Jamal, I got to ask you a question, man. He's like, do you think I'm fucking crazy because I keep trying to find ways to make my knee feel like how it was when I was young? I said, no, not at all. He's like, you don't think I'm crazy? I said, motherfucker, I've been doing that shit for how many years, bro? I just want to be able to do what I want to do. You want your knee to feel better so you can continue to play sports and do all these active things, right? So why stop and give in? Because doctors are telling you, oh, well, if your knee's like this, you have some structural issues going on. If you're not thinking about surgery, stop doing paddle, stop doing this, stop doing that. That's not, no.
And then what,
That's
just
not what
sit
it
on
is.
the bench?
Yeah, exactly. Like you, doc.
That is
No,
the worst thing.
it's not what I'm going to do. Exactly. But that's what doctors tell you.
I'm a
That hurts, don't use it.
Like most
That
people
hurts,
do.
don't use it.
When a doctor says don't do this, you need to go find another doctor.
I had
Yeah.
so
The
that
worst
was one of my issues that I had. I had some crazy hamstring issue going on. It was like it didn't always hurt, but every time I did a lying down hamstring curl, it would pop, it would crack, or you just feel it. It just
Yeah.
felt off. Didn't hurt, but it just felt off.
Yeah.
So I went to a couple spots, and I went to this one sports doctor and this and that. And he orders.
Good marketing.
Oh man, dude, fucking great marketing. He ordered X-rays, and I said, Doc, I don't need an X-ray. Like I'm just letting you know, like I know it's nothing with my knee or any structural like that.
Joint. Yeah,
I
it's
need
soft tissue at that.
soft tissue, it's ligaments, if anything. I just need to know if there's something bound up in there, whatever.
X-ray to build the insurance. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So he can make money.
Extra way for him to make a little loot. I
And
get
then
it.
come back next week when the X-ray comes in and we notice
I
it's
get it, but I
nothing,
don't
and I'll
have-
send you for MRI then.
Dude, we're all busy. I don't have time to just keep banging out appointment after appointment, and especially if it's going to be running behind an hour every single time. So we don't have time for this shit. So he comes in the room, heavy set dude, and I'm just looking at him, I'm just like, all right, I'll give this a shot.
Call it what it is. He ain't heavy
Yeah.
set. He fat.
He fat. So he comes in the room and he starts asking me questions, and I said, whenever I hit 120 pounds on a hamstring curl, I start feeling like clicking and this and that. I'm just trying to figure out if it's my knee, if it's this and that. And he goes, well, X-ray looks great. You got like 15-year-old knees. And I said, I guess that's good. Fucking great. Fresh out the crate. I said, well, what about the rest? And he goes, so you're saying that it only happens when you do 120-pound hamstring curls? Yeah. He goes,
So maybe,
Maybe
not.
just don't do 120-pound hamstring curls. I'm like,
And what's the use? I'm even in here
What
doing
are-
the
what
hamstring
are we
curls. Then,
here for,
if it was up
dude?
to you,
can we
We're
figure
here,
out
we're here
what's
for the
wrong?
solution, not
Can we figure out what's wrong with my leg as opposed to just saying,
Don't
"Ah,
do
fuck it, it doesn't work like it did a couple months ago. Don't use it anymore." What?
Yeah,
That's not how it works, man.
yeah.
You gotta figure some
be
shit
more
out.
proactive about the issue.
So,
man.
and then listen, but then you go to guys like Scott. I'm assuming your practice as well. We
Yeah.
go to you guys for real sources of knowledge to help with the
And
makeup of the body.
He's a big movement mobility guy. Like, it's amazing seeing a lot of things that he does with his clients, young kids, older clients, disabled clients. I'm sorry, is that the right word to use? I don't know if I'm and I just want to make sure I'm not hurting that population.
Address TikTok Live. Let them know. It's sorry.
For the simple fact that I just love the fact that they're in there trying.
Yeah, man.
You understand? And he's working with them, and it's like you see the things he's doing. And it's like, yo, that's dope. That's amazing, right? And it's all movement based. He's not talking about giving you medication. He's not talking about hanging you upside down and doing all types of crazy. No, he's like, listen, this is the problem. Your muscles aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. And the reason they're not doing it to help prevent the pain and the injury you have is because, one, your mobility's off, or it's so deconditioned, there's so much atrophy, whatever it may be. That's what he's finding, and he's attacking it.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of a
physical way.
mainstream doctor talking about the surrounding areas compensating for an injured area? I've never heard them say that, but I hear my sports PT people talk about them all the time.
It's common. It's very common. But like everything, that Jamal is highlighting, the reason why I do all this stuff is that's just because that's what the modern research is showing. I don't like to. I mean, I don't say I don't like to, but my preference is not to do a lot of soft tissue on people and not to touch people. And massage them because the research doesn't support that stuff. Nothing to go against what Scott does. Like, he's very hands-on, right? But I am more of getting people to move, right? I want people to be more conscious of the way that their body behaves around their environment, and that's just because the research shows that it takes thousands of pounds of Newton-ton force to manipulate 1% of fascial tissue. Who could do that? It's physiologically impossible. And when someone massages you, it feels good, right? You feel looser, right? But there's no research to say that there's long-term benefits to that, right? What's happening is you're fooling your nervous system. That immediate short-term.
And that's what those guns are.
Exactly.
Precision guns,
are,
percussion
right?
guns, yeah.
Yeah, it stimulates your soft tissue.
Talking shit about my $600 Theragun.
I have it.
No, we have it too.
No, I know.
It does initially make you feel loose and stuff, but it doesn't fix the problem.
I know it doesn't fix
You know what I'm
it.
saying?
There are
Hips are still tight, even though I use it on my hips.
Yeah, I have some clients that will come to me and they want something, right? They want like a soft tissue work, and like I will do it just because it makes them feel good. Just that alone has a therapeutic benefit to it, right? They've done so much research on this stuff. Like they've done research on just touching people, on patting people, having good bedside manner alone can help them with their pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Positivity, good energy. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. There's a thing on pain science. I had a patient, this was a long time ago, where she had constant knee pain every day, knee pain. She goes away on vacation, and then for a week, and then she comes back, and I ask her, I'm like,
No knee
how's
pain.
your knee? How was your knee on vacation? She goes, oh, my knee was fine. And then I'm like, oh, interesting. And how's it now? It was, oh, I'm in pain again. And why? It's because the environment that she's in when she's in New York is just stressful.
Yeah.
Stress alone is inducing the pain. It's not.
It's
the
also
knee
causing
itself.
inflammation in the body
Exactly.
on its own.
When she was away, she had no pain. Would a doctor ask her these questions?
Probably not.
No, he's all right. Celebrex.
He's gonna look. He's gonna dig for problems, right?
Or they'll just
Everyone
just blame it on anxiety and put you on an SSRI.
Yeah, everyone has meniscus tears, labral tears.
If you're active, yes, you have those.
How heavy do you squat? You squat? You still squat?
I still squat, yeah.
How heavy you squat?
I used to squat crazy heavy. Now, you know me, I like to go right from the heavy leg press to the squat. I do it all, but I mean, I can still get up there, you know.
You get up there, right?
365.
Yeah, 360. All right, so I weigh 155. I could squat 250, right? I guarantee you I have a labral tear in my hip. but it doesn't bother me. Same thing for you. Same thing for you, right? We all have structural abnormalities. I can guarantee you, if you go on an MRI and you go looking for problems, you will find problems.
I find a lot,
I know.
especially to the brain.
That's all the
There's a lot
striking.
going
That's,
on.
That's all the Muay Thai.
Yeah.
But
That was my neck surgery.
why doesn't our bodies respond to pain signals? Is because our tolerance to stress is higher. Because we're loading our tissues.
We've primed ourselves for years
Exactly.
of training.
Yeah, exactly. But when
Exactly.
people don't do that, and the older they get, that's when the pain starts. They're sending responses to their pain saying, "This is pain."
Think about the first time you worked out. How sore were you the first time you worked out ever?
That's different. That's
But I'm
tissue
saying in
soreness.
general.
Yeah.
Your
Your
body adapts.
Your body adapts.
And then now a workout now that
Yeah.
you may do.
Yeah.
Would you imagine doing that as your first workout? You'd be fucking
Hell
dead.
no.
Oh,
You have
You'd be
rhabdo.
crawling. You'd be that it.
Yeah.
yeah.
You'd be
I remember my
completely-
dumbass. I did arms for 3 hours straight for my first workout because my mom was like working out. She did a class. She was on the treadmill doing her thing. I was young, man, and I just fucking did like 3 hours of just bicep curls and.
It's probably what
arms.
I need.
Dude, the next day I couldn't straighten my arms out. I was walking
Yeah.
around high school like this.
That's
My arms
probably,
are like
that's
just like
probably why you
T-Rex.
can't do them now.
Yeah, you can't straighten that arm now.
Can't straighten the arm now. Yeah. Yeah. But that goes into one of the bigger points for me, which is it's great to just keep hammering in the gym, and it's great that we can have that high output
Yeah.
and do jujitsu and train heavy with the weights or whatever, Muay Thai, boxing, whatever your exercise of choice or sport of choice is. But we have to get better on that recovery side.
Oh,
We have to get
100%.
better on
The-
on the rehab side of things. Because like you're saying, we all have problems, we all have issues, and we're all gonna run into injuries down the line.
Yeah.
That's just a given. It just happens.
100%.
I tried to explain that to my mom too, and I'll let you cut in. I tried to explain it to my mom too when she gets like upset about like a jujitsu pop or something like that. And I just tell her, I go, "You broke your foot tripping on a brick that was out of line in the town. Like, yeah, they fucked up because the bricks are all screwed up and anybody could have fallen and tripped. But that's the point that I try to make. It's like you could get injured just walking on the block.
Yeah.
You can get injured
So
doing anything.
I'd rather
Get injured doing something I love.
Yeah, I'd rather at least have to deal with an injury when I am performing and doing a sport that I love that's making me healthier and happier.
Yeah, and your recovery will be 10 times faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, people have to take their fitness seriously. You know, the older you get, people feel like, oh, I want to stay away from lifting weights. It's not important for me, or I'm afraid to load my body. That's not what the research is showing. It's showing you need to load your body. You lose 8 to 12% of your muscle mass every decade after 30.
Damn.
They don't talk about that stuff. Like doctors
40.
don't talk about that.
I was gonna say 40. I was about to
Wow,
go.
decades.
I got some time still. No, my ass is shrinking.
So, but like
I done gave up mad time.
like 8 to 12% of your muscle tissues like start to atrophy after 30.
Mhm.
And you know, women in their 40s, 50s, why are they so susceptible to osteoporosis?
Mhm.
Other conditions. It's because of this. They don't load their bodies, or if they do, it's not. They don't push it past their tissue tolerance, and they think they do, but they really don't. You gotta actually readapt your tissue, stress
Your body out.
the point where it's physically exhausted. That's what training is about. Now, when it comes to I know you know when it comes to
talking about?
recovery, the number one thing that they're saying about recovery is sleep. Sleep is the most important.
Damn.
I've been trying to get so much better with my sleep, man. I'm up and down all
They
night.
say 7 to
My
9
problem is
hours.
I 7 to 9 hours. Yeah. My problem is I'll sleep well, but because jujitsu is late at night, I'm drinking a lot of water because I'm dehydrated from
Get up
training.
to pee.
So you wake
So
up.
dude, I wake up like 3 times sometimes to piss, man. Like fully loaded. I'm just like, oh God, again? I was having a good dream.
Yeah, I don't have a problem falling asleep. I can fall asleep anywhere.
How long are you staying asleep?
I don't stay asleep at all. 45 minutes later, hour later, I'm up and I'm like, all right, so what? Damn, it's only 2 o'clock. All right, let me try to lay back down. And at that point, I can't.
Yeah, and then you're up.
And if I do get up to go pee, I'm up.
Yeah.
The moment I have to move, I'm up.
Do you find if you
Well-
fall back
well, Jim-
asleep, you're groggy the rest of the day?
He's different. He's built different.
But if you wake up at that 2:00 mark and you feel like you're wide awake, if you go lay down,
I don't ever fall back into another deep
sleep.
good sleep.
And the crazy thing is he can function a whole day.
No, I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, but an average human can't.
Yeah.
They don't.
I would like to know what I could possibly get done if I actually slept. But there's some days where, like on a weekend, if I got the kids in my bed, and I'll be like, I don't really have any clients booked this morning early. Let me just stay in the bed. And I'll stay in the bed for a little bit longer. I feel like shit.
You feel like shit.
Holy shit.
Is it because you're dozing or
God.
because your body is resting?
I get up and my body just feels sluggish and tired.
How old's the mattress?
More so, huh?
How old's the mattress?
No, I'm saying if I stay in bed longer.
That's what I'm saying. How old's the mattress?
No, it is an old mattress, actually. I can't get rid of that. I can't get rid of that mattress, man. I love that mattress.
How old's the mattress?
We've been through a lot.
Yeah, we've been through a lot.
No. But no, I should get a new.
Don't get a
new
Tempur-Pedic.
mattress.
I hate my Tempur-Pedic.
Now, is that the one? Are those the ones that move? Like you can put it in a different position.
One is like
I heard
most
purple's
expensive.
good. Yeah, I have a Tempur-Pedic, and I'm just not I'm just
yeah.
not a fan of it, man.
What-
I
I
just
just got my daughter a new mattress, and then I was like mattress shopping. They have $10,000 mattresses.
I spent $5 on my mattress. I spent five
Yeah.
bands on my mattress. I'll tell you the
But
benefit.
It will last. It will
But
last.
Yeah, I'll tell maybe not this one. Other ones probably. I'll tell you the benefit of the Tempur-Pedic that I got. I got the base plate that does the head and the feet. So
You
I can
added that on, no?
Huh?
You added that on.
Oh, come on. Of course that was an add-on. They showed me the menu. The dude in the store, he lays me down. He's like, "Well, this is the firm mattress." And I said, "Oh, this is nice." He goes, "I want you to come over here and try zero gravity mode." I said, "Don't do that because then I'm going to have to buy it. Don't do that to me."
And
I
how?
went and did it, and I was like, oh, "Yeah, I got to get this one." Problem with the Tempur-Pedic for me is the Tempur-Pedic has gotten I got firm. I mean, it was like a rock when I first laid on it when I got it home, and I loved it.
Yo,
I love a hard mattress.
Those are the best mattresses.
I fucking loved it.
The
I
firmer, the
I
better.
was supported. I felt great. The problem is it started to dip and get softer as I've used it for the
well,
last
they say
3 years.
you gotta like flip it. Right?
No, you
Turn
can't.
it?
You can't flip
Turn
it. I did turn it.
Turn it.
I turned it recently. I'll turn it again in another month or two
Yeah.
just to try it. But I have slept better on the turn side, and it's good. But like
Can your body be shaped like this when you sleep?
it contours your body.
Kind of like a lazy boy, like a recliner.
It contours your body.
Because if that's the case, I'll buy that. Because I can't sleep on my back for nothing.
The
There's
problem I
no
have is
way.
I used to do a lot of stomach sleeping, which is horrible for you. I heard.
That's high sleep.
I love
That's
stomach
the
sleeping.
first thing
Yeah.
I told Jamal. I was like, you have shoulder pain? How you sleep on my stomach? It's
I
the
can't.
worst, man.
There's no other way I can sleep,
Would you do the one right knee up?
dude. Both my knees go up, man.
Oh shit!
I switch from back and forth, both hands under the bed. I'm like, yo, my head's all turned this way.
It's the
He's
worst.
doing a thread the needle.
I got 2 pillows underneath. There's a huge curve in my low back. I sleep all types of, and luckily I'm not in that position for a long period of time.
Yeah.
But I just can't. I can't sleep on my back for the life of me.
Back sleeping is tough for me. Side sleeping I do well with, but then there's a difference between sleeping on your left side versus your right side with how the stomach sits and stomach acid.
Mhm.
I forget which side it is. I talked about it a couple
Yeah,
weeks ago.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's one gives your stomach, your esophagus, a more direct route to stomach acid problems where it could actually give you inflammation versus the other side where the stomach dips down and the acid can't get up. Where's my phone's up there? Let me look. I'm curious.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah, I mean, sleep is very important.
If the bed can do this like a lazy boy, because I can fall asleep on a lazy boy on my back with my legs elevated, a little bend in my knees, body up like that, I can sleep like that. As long as my head is in line, I can sleep like that. So maybe I could do that. But yeah, I can't sleep on my back for the life of me. I try so much. I really do. And it just doesn't work for me, man.
That's tragic. Sorry to hear that.
But I remember one time this girl asked me, she's like, you sleep on your stomach, like you can only sleep on your stomach. Are you like worried about something? And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, well, you know animals sleep on their stomach to protect their vital organs. I was like, man, shut up.
You
What are you
should.
talking about?
That was I hope that was the last conversation you had with her.
I said, so what, I'm trying to protect my vital organs? I said, why, you trying to shank me, bitch? Fuck.
That's funny, man.
But
Let's see. Which way is the better way to sleep? Let's see.
I believe it's I believe it's on the left side.
Left side.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken,
I don't even know.
It would make sense to be on the left side.
Sleep is not my forte.
Sleeping on your left side can reduce stomach acid and heartburn.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because gravity keeps stomach acid from flowing back into your esophagus. So if you sleep on your left side, I'm all over the place. I'll tell you what I always have a problem with. I always have a problem with like taking magnesium or any type of vitamins. I always have a problem with like I'll drink a whole glass of water, but there'll still be that one pill stuck in the bottom of my throat. I'm just like, dude. And then you know that's gonna start burning as it dissolves. You're just like you're trying to slam as much water as humanly possible.
Yeah. They say magnesium helps improve your quality of sleep.
If I take 300 to 400 milligrams of magnesium, I sleep much better than if I didn't.
Same.
The problem is then if you also want to supplement with GABA and all the other stuff, GABA you could become dependent on. So you try not to use GABA too often. GABA you could become dependent on, and L-theanine, apigenin, all these other ones are good to take as well. They tell you to steer away from melatonin. For years they told you melatonin is the king of sleep supplements because your body produces it, and this elevates the amount that is actually produced.
Yeah, and if you take it for too often, you could suffer from depression from it.
Isn't that the same with ashwagandha?
Yes.
Really?
It makes you become like mute and like emotionally numb.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I gotta get off of that.
Yeah.
How often do you take it?
I mean, I stopped. I have to. I was taking it like once a day, but I stopped. I take
once a day
daily.
for how long?
How long did
and
I
how
take it?
often?
I think I took it for about 3 months.
And then you
once a
cycled
day.
off.
I cycled off.
That's
yeah.
good.
You should always cycle. Even regular vitamins and stuff, you should cycle off or try something new. Like when you bring up magnesium, you go through the different types of magnesium. It's good to cycle the types of magnesium. You'll continue to get the great results and response from magnesium when you start switching the types.
Glycinate, threonate. What are the other ones? Not picolinate.
There is picolinate.
I don't know if it's magnesium though.
Hold on. No, it's chromium. It's chromium picolinate.
I'm looking it up. Citrate, glycinate, magnesium chloride, lactate, malate, sulfate,
Malate.
hydroxide. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if all those you can eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
We're not doctors. don't listen to everything that we say.
I think
Malate.
Health disclosure.
Malate is it's going to be malate, glycinate,
Threonate,
citrate. Well, citrate.
Threonate's for the brain.
Yeah. 3 and 8. Yep. And
That was a Huberman tip that I picked up when he started talking about it.
Magnesium 3 and 8.
3 and he talked about apigenin, which is like chamomile root, and L-theanine. That was his like sleep bomb that he was talking about for a while.
Sleep is very important.
Yeah, I got to get better with sleep.
That's like LeBron James. He's had a
he makes sure he
career.
sleeps
His
a lot.
Sleep was priority. He slept.
I love that dude.
Yeah. I mean, we can argue about that, but
Yeah, I always argue people about that, but I that dude is.
Not a LeBron guy.
I think if you put LeBron in the 90s, he wouldn't be the player he is today.
Do you think because he didn't have all the optimizations that they offer nowadays?
I don't think so. I think he would still be great, just because he's a freak of an athlete. But I don't think the aggression of the league back then would have been in his best interest.
Well, when he first came out, when he first started playing ball, the league was still aggressive then, and he dominated. And you got to remember, he's bigger, faster than all the guys that did dominate. Not to mention,
no, he is. He's very
bigger, faster, stronger, way more explosive, and not to mention, like if you think about it, when you back in the day,
So
like
you-
people will
so you
argue.
put LeBron over Jordan?
Back in the day,
No, right? Like
have you? I love LeBron over Michael Jordan. I do.
you put
Yeah,
LeBron
guaranteed.
over Kobe?
I do. See, a lot of people,
You know
they
what?
think
You know
because
what?
my killer, the way I am instinctually, they think I choose those guys. And the truth of the matter is, I grew up watching all three of these guys. And I remember, just to be a dick to my family who are Knicks fans, and they played Jordan, I would root for the Bulls, just to be an asshole.
Dick.
And I would sit there and just be like this. And in my mind, I'd be like, why is this dude continuously shooting the motherfucking ball? Pass the fucking ball, dude. You didn't miss 6 shots in a row. What are you doing? Get your team involved. I used to get so upset, but not voice it. So when I sit there and you're telling me that it's the game of basketball, right? And now no matter what, in any sport and in any business, efficiency is
Yeah.
key. LeBron is a more efficient scorer, passer, player than Michael Jordan.
So
Now,
LeBron, the only way LeBron became, and you know, it all goes back to you know, winning championships and being
Mhm.
success. He would have never gotten where he is today if he didn't team up with Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and did that whole three. He betrayed Cleveland. Now,
but why
now,
is that
hold on a second.
betraying
Hold
Cleveland?
on a second. Hold on a second. Michael Jordan didn't do that.
He stayed
he
with the team
he
that
stayed
gave him what
consistent.
they wanted.
And in the late 90s, he had to go up against the dog of the Pistons. He literally
That wasn't the late
got,
90s. It
was the late 80s. Sorry,
you got to remember. You got to
late
remember
80s,
one
early
thing.
90s.
You got to remember one thing, and I'm gonna just state facts real quick, right? The year before Jordan came into the league, the Chicago Bulls won 36 games and went to the playoffs. The year Michael Jordan,
The year before.
yeah, the year before, so 83. When Jordan came in 84, you know how many games they won? 36. And they made it to the playoffs on just winning 36 games. Michael Jordan did nothing to change their team. LeBron James comes on to the Cleveland Cavaliers as a 17-year-old who just won 14 games. That's it. An NBA team that won. He was 17 when they signed, 18 when he started playing. Okay? So that's a 14-win season for the Cleveland Cavaliers. One addition was LeBron James. There was no change to the team. What happened?
Did they make the playoffs?
Yes, they did.
That first year?
Now, how? Look at the difference one player has made. That's what I'm telling you.
But what you're I think the problem is the era of basketball at that time was completely different than
Exactly. The era was based on letting Michael do what he wanted.
What? He did the complete opposite.
What are you talking about?
Michael?
Dude, referees, coaches, and players all say it. The league was told not to touch Michael. Call this walk and call this travel on everybody else, just not Michael. To the point where referees Michael would be like, yo, you didn't see, but that dude got fouled. He was like, really? I didn't see that, Mike. Beep. Yo, go ahead. Come on now. The league was based around Mike.
That was after
it was based around Mike.
That was after they started to respect Michael. When he won 1, 2, 3 championships, and they started to respect him. Michael Jordan literally changed the game.
Well, of course he did. But let me explain something to you. How often was Michael Jordan in a conference finals the underdog?
You know why he
the
was
team?
never,
No.
He was never an underdog?
Don't do that.
You know he was never an
Don't do
underdog?
that. Why? Because he had the best team in the league.
He had the best team because he was the greatest player.
Wait a minute. How come before Scottie Pippen got there, did he not win a goddamn thing if he's the greatest player in the game?
He needed help.
Exactly. He needed help. And when he got all the help, that's when he started winning. He didn't do shit himself.
He still
didn't do nothing himself,
he was still
dude.
dominating the game.
Dominating the game. Okay. I'm gonna give you a quick little stat. Okay? How many times in LeBron's 21 seasons has he led the league in something negative? Never. Michael Jordan and all his scoring titles, you know how many times he led the league in most missed shots and most taken shots? So, of course, I would think you would score more if you're taking the most shots of the whole league and missing the most shots of the whole league. Michael and Kobe excelled at that, very much so. 10 years out of Michael's career, he only played for 15. 10 of them, he led the league in most missed shots.
I have nothing wrong with that, though.
Why? Why? Because he won. But he's able to do that because of his team.
But that's like
Michael couldn't do anything without help. LeBron, without help, dragged the Cleveland Cavaliers, which was a shitty team, a last place team in the NBA, to the playoffs, and then the following year to the finals as an 18 and 19-year-old. Michael could never do that. If you look at that lineup, those lineups, Michael Jordan couldn't do any of that. You want to know why? Because he's nowhere near as versatile as LeBron. There's a game of basketball, right? The better basketball player, basketball, is LeBron. That's it. You need a center. LeBron can play center. You need a point guard. LeBron can run the point. You need a power forward, a shooting guard. LeBron can do it all. Michael cannot.
But you know why? Is because the game, when he came in, became very versatile.
Who?
LeBron. When LeBron came in, the NBA became very versatile. People started to space
That's
the floor.
adaptation. That's adaptation.
Yeah,
but
but-
let me ask you this: if you're
Michael
playing the
was
game of
there-
basketball, right? If you want to know who's better, right? let me tell you this right now. People bring up.
Okay, let me go ahead.
ahead.
You finish. All
So
right.
Let me give you, because basketball is just fucking not my thing. So I'm letting you guys debate this one out. But I really don't watch basketball ever. But I'll give you guys 2 stat lines for 2 separate stat groupings, okay? MJ and LeBron at 33. Michael was in his 11th season. He had 734 games, 3 MVPs, 3 finals, 3 NBA titles, 3 final MVPs, and 7
Success.
first-team All-NBA.
yeah,
In contrast, LeBron was in his 15th season at 33. He had over 1,000 games, while Michael had 734. He had 4 MVPs versus Michael's 3, 8 finals appearances versus Michael's 3, 3 NBA titles to Michael's 3, 3 MVP finals to Michael's 3, and 11 first-team All-NBA to Michael's 7. And I'll give you one more stat, and I'll let you guys finish this. Total games played between the two of them, I'm not sure, in the playoffs. 179 Michael, 224 LeBron. Total minutes, 7,400 minutes on Michael, 9,400 minutes for LeBron. 5,900 points to Michael, 6,400 points to LeBron. 1,100 rebounds Michael, 1,900 rebounds LeBron. Over 1,000 assists Michael, 1,500 assists LeBron. And you have 6 championships to Michael, 3 championships to LeBron. I don't know if he's gotten more since that was. I don't
so
follow. So
just
I
like
don't blame you for not following NBA. It's
just like you know,
football though. I'm a Patriots fan, and they're fucking dog shit.
it took Michael, right? What it took Michael to score his amount of scoring for his whole career.
Scoring was different back then.
Dude, the
took
scoring
a
was
lot
not different
more.
back then
It was.
for Michael.
The game was a lot different.
My dude, you got to watch a little more old school basketball. And I'm telling you this because you know how many games? This is what people don't understand about listening to that era, right? When you, as a New Yorker, saw Michael Jordan play back then, you saw it only when he played the Knicks. You didn't see when Michael Jordan shit the bed. Because what? New York newspapers don't put Michael Jordan in the newspaper. They only put him in Chicago. Right? There was no ESPN back then. And I'm talking about me. There was no ESPN. News wasn't highlighting that. You only got a chance to see him play then. You didn't see the times he shit the bed. You don't see the times where there's many, many games and there's so much footage, right? And I save it because I argue with people all the time. Jordan will go 4 for 24 and still have 20-something points because he has 13 points from the line. He gets fouls called from so much. The games where if you let Jordan and LeBron take 20, hold on, you let Jordan and LeBron take 20 shots, 20 attempts at scoring, LeBron scores higher.
LeBron is more efficient.
Hold on.
I agree with you.
25 shots, LeBron scores more. 30, LeBron scores more. LeBron don't shoot over 30-something shots ever in a game. Michael Jordan has shot in the 50s per game to only score 40 points. Do you know how inefficient that is? Do you realize that even then, when you look at these games, he's scoring 20 points from the line?
Let me ask you a question. If
Come on, dude.
If it wasn't for Michael, do you think LeBron would be the player he is today?
Listen, Michael Jordan paved a serious way, and I'm not taking that from him. What I'm talking about is you cannot sit here and watch a guy that struggles to dunk the ball from the foul line, which is an amazing feat, to see a dude take 2 steps off a steal and dunk in a game from the foul line with mad room flying into the crowd. Athleticism is one thing,
He refuses to go in a dunk contest.
there's no need for him to.
Why not?
In the middle of a game, he's doing an under-the-leg dunk. There's no need for him. Why? What's the use of a dunk contest?
It's to expose your true athleticism, to see how you can.
Did he need to expose that?
I think so.
Why?
Well, no,
Have you not seen the athleticism for 21 years?
He needs to show some something else that he could do.
That-
Regardless, like I think,
Dude.
if you look at the eras of basketball,
Mhm.
and don't tell me this is false, they were scoring 80, 90 max during
Yeah,
Michael Jordan
88
era.
points. That was the
And this dude-
average.
right? And this dude was still putting up 30, 40 points a game.
On how many shots?
Doesn't matter.
It does matter.
You know why
it does matter.
You know why it doesn't matter? Because for someone like you, right, who goes and grinds every day, there's days where you feel like shit. There's days when you feel good.
And you know what's funny?
LeBron,
That's true.
Michael Jordan will
The
go
day-
every day.
The days I feel like shit, what do? I alter what I'm doing to make it effective.
continue to
He
grind.
doesn't.
Because
He doesn't. He had one thing and one thing
doesn't.
only.
You know why? Because he has confidence. Same thing with Kobe. Like Kobe would miss 5 shots in a row, but you know what a mediocre player would do? Mediocre. Nah, don't give me the ball. I don't want it. Kobe's like, yo, give me the ball. I'm still gonna shoot. Michael was
Of
the
course.
same way. LeBron didn't really have that mindset. He didn't. I don't see him having
Now,
that mentality.
why do you think he doesn't
physically
have that
gifted.
mindset? When basically, if you look at games, if you look at footage, clutch. People always bring this up, but clutch doesn't mean 2 seconds on the clock. Clutch means the last 2 minutes of a game, minute of a game, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, 10 seconds, 5 seconds, and game winners. There's no one in history more clutch than LeBron James. None. Not a single.
Where are you getting this stat from?
It's the truth. Look at
I
it.
want to see this stat.
Look it up.
I mean, I'm just saying, look it up.
Look it up, bro. I'm telling you right now. Michael Jordan has one more game winner, buzzer beater, only buzzer beater than LeBron James. But from 2 minutes out to closing, there's no one more lights out than LeBron James.
Even if you are correct,
I'm telling you right now. I'm not
arguing with you. You might be correct, but all I'm
Just
saying
like when you sit there and people say, "Oh, Kyrie Irving made the game-winning shot against when they came back from 3-1," right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The game-winning shot, there was still 15 seconds left on the clock for one. Who made the last stop defensively? LeBron did. But hold on, they were down 13. Who scored? No, I'm sorry, they were down 16. LeBron James scored 13 unanswered points before Kyrie hit that shot to put them up, and then had the game-winning stop defensively. That's clutch, fam. So you can't just give that to Kyrie and say LeBron didn't do what he had to do. He scored 13 unanswered points in the matter of 30 seconds to free up one shot because the man was hot. He was not only dunking, hitting twos, but he hit 2 threes as well to open up a shot for Kyrie. And then what happens? So when Paxson wins a championship because Michael Jordan, when Jordan comes down and misses a shot, misses another shot, passes to Paxson and he hits the game winner, nobody says anything. When Steve Kerr saves him, nobody says anything. But here you are, Michael Jordan missing shot after shot and somebody else making a shot and he's still the guy. But when LeBron scores 13 unanswered and then one other player makes a shot, he choked. How was that? He gave up the opportunity. How was that? He still made look, if you look up greatest defensive plays in history, LeBron James has a number of them. Greatest fourth quarter comebacks, LeBron James.
Yeah, LeBron James was never defensive player of the year. Michael Jordan.
If you really want to break down stats, then Michael Jordan shouldn't have been either. You have other NBA players saying the same things. Michael Jordan was not a good defender. That was the NBA giving him those awards.
You don't like Michael Jordan.
Well, I grew up loving Michael Jordan. I love Michael Jordan, but I love the truth too.
But you know what the truth is? I'll tell you the truth. And this is what I love the NBA. Well, loved the NBA. I grew up watching the LeBron James era.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a great era. Like he literally transcended the NBA, right? And him and Steph Curry, that era. LeBron James was physically gifted. He had talent. He had the scouts looking at him from day one.
13 years old.
From 13 years old.
And getting death threats because of it.
Yeah. He was the number one guy coming out of like he was highly recruited from day one. Michael Jordan wasn't. Michael Jordan had to work his way up. He was working his way up there.
So why does that? Okay.
But my whole thing is LeBron James was gifted. He was gifted, but don't get me wrong. He still had to work.
So let's talk about gifted, because he's a product of a single mother. Hold on. We're talking about gifted here. Hold on. No. Genetics, I know you're talking about, but take this into consideration.
Look, his
take this into
father could have been
consideration.
6'9".
It doesn't matter, but check it out. Product of a single mother, was homeless 8 years of his life. Okay? So now, coming from Akron, Ohio, to become what he is today? No way.
Talking at all about
No way.
But that's
No way.
history.
You're talking about physical gifts. I get that.
He was genetic.
He's a man-child.
He was genetic. He could have been. He could
Guarantee. He could have played football and all that, but he chose basketball. And that shows athleticism.
He is genetically gifted to perform at a high level, right? So he was already predisposed to that.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jordan was not. Michael Jordan didn't really start playing basketball until high school. He was on the JV team in high school. He had to work his way into varsity. He had to work his way into UNC. He was the number 3 pick in the 1984 draft, or 85, whatever.
It was 83, 84. But yeah, you're right. So if you look at
number 1 pick, he was unanimous number 1.
If you look at the NBA players now talking, and they're like, listen, you know what's crazy? LeBron James at 15 years old. No, these are the older guys. LeBron James at 15 years old was brought down to play basketball against Jordan and everybody else. And Jordan and all the guys didn't want no younger players playing. But some of the players, we knew who he was. We pulled him on the court. He cooked everybody at 15. So even though Jordan, you think, had to work hard, which I'm not saying he didn't, LeBron James was cooking, fellas. NBA stars at 15. 15. So at the age of 17, what was Michael Jordan doing? Because LeBron was in the NBA.
I would even put Kobe over LeBron. You know why? It's because of the mindset. Same thing with Kobe. Kobe had to work harder.
Yes, Kobe definitely had to work harder. He wasn't anywhere near as gifted.
He was very successful, and Kobe was a no nonsense type of guy. He was
so you're gonna downplay the fact that Kobe had Shaquille O'Neal for majority of his rings. No other player. That's the most dominant player in the history of basketball.
He won 2 without him.
Bro, I get that. But we're talking about, you're bringing up Kobe. So you take away Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe has 2 rings. That's it. So what's your reasoning for choosing?
But I'm saying
once again, LeBron is way more efficient than Kobe, right?
If you but you see what I think you're doing? I think you're looking at it just from a basketball perspective.
We're talking about basketball.
No. But we're talking.
I would look at it from a basketball perspective.
When you talk about the greatest player of all time,
somebody said how many did Shaq have without Kobe?
He has.
How many did Shaq have without Kobe?
He had.
I think he only had one.
Yeah, one.
He only had one. Yeah. But that was also when Shaq got old.
He had Dwayne Wade. He had the Flash. He had prime time Dwayne Wade. When you talk about overall basketball, it's not just what he's doing on the court. It's what he's doing outside the court to prepare him for that. LeBron has 21st century medicine.
But there's no reason that you can't use that as that's not a crutch. That's not a crutch for him. So what? He has it and he's using it. Other people have money and they can do it the same. They choose not to.
But it's a mindset.
Being that he's choosing to do that, you can't hold that against him.
I'm not holding it against him. I'm just saying that he was predisposed genetically to be great.
So that's the reason that he's not better than somebody?
No. I'm not saying it's the reason I'm better. I'm saying he was predisposed genetically to be great, and then he used the assets around him to continue to leverage his greatness. They didn't have that. Michael Jordan didn't have that. He was the reason why the NBA is what it is today. He definitely
paved the road. I'm not taking that from him. I'm not taking that from him at all.
This is why you can't. When he went into the NBA Finals, he won every single finals. He did not lose one.
Exactly. You want to know why though?
This dude got so tired of basketball, he decided to retire to play baseball.
No.
So bad at baseball.
You're wrong. You don't know enough about basketball.
Why?
He retired because of his gambling issue, and that's what killed his father.
And his father, right?
That's why he retired, not
Right.
because he was
But
done
he
and
was,
tired.
but he was also there was a segment where he was like, I'm tired of winning. I feel like I'm too successful. I want to try something else. And he went to go try baseball. Baseball didn't work. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna go back to basketball. And then he came back and he dominated again.
Yeah.
But you
His
see,
team
like,
was the best
LeBron-
team in the league every year.
Right.
The
but-
years that LeBron was the favorite, he won. The year Michael Jordan was never the underdog.
LeBron won one championship during COVID. Like, does that even count?
Why? All the NBA players during that time says that's the hardest thing for them to accomplish.
I don't think so. That was
What, the championship during COVID?
yeah.
you're
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, in the bubble.
Was it because
Fluke of the
everybody
year.
was like, there was a lack of fans, lack of
Lack of
training,
fans,
preparation
no
for the season?
drive, no family. You couldn't even leave. You basically felt like
Yeah,
you were
they
in
should
jail.
have-
That was
They
like
should've-
the UFC fighters in Abu Dhabi, right?
Yeah. So I mean, that's not. You can't take anything like that away. And if you watched those finals, you couldn't tell me that shit wasn't exciting as hell.
I don't watch the NBA anymore.
Against the Heat, that was crazy.
I think the NBA is
That was crazy.
It lost
But-
its credibility.
But that's LeBron being a freak of nature and using.
He is. There's no.
He is. I know that.
I want to cut in real quick. So your viewpoint is LeBron is great because he has all of these modalities and all of these recovery benefits
the
in the
assets.
later series now in the 2000s, let's call it, to be able to recover better, train smarter, train harder and faster versus what Michael had at his disposal back then.
Yes. Yes.
And you agree or don't agree to that extent?
Summarize that.
I agree. LeBron is definitely, utilizing all the benefits of new age. But just because you have the ability to utilize it does not make you not better than somebody. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
That's it. Now, and once again, this is always going to be an opinion, right? But so when I say what I'm saying, when I'm watching the game of basketball, I know what I would, if I was a coach, how I would teach my players how to play. Because just like how LeBron never got benched in the finals, Jordan did. Jordan got benched in the finals because he goes through these times, and this is Phil Jackson benching the shit out of him for the whole third quarter and most of the fourth. And Scottie Pippen ran the team, and the 20-point deficit that they brought back.
You see what you're doing, Jamal?
Hold on. What am I doing? I'm telling you right now the fact that your GOAT got benched in the finals that they still won in, and he was benched. LeBron was never benched.
I could say the same thing about LeBron. LeBron
How?
was catching cramps during the NBA Finals game. You know how much criticism he was getting for that? Now I get it. It was hot in the arena, the air conditioning.
It don't matter. He continued to play.
He was barely playing.
He
was
played,
barely playing.
and if an injury is stopping you from doing something, one thing. But if the coach is taking you out and you're supposedly the greatest player of all time,
this guy LeBron,
what coach don't want you on the court if you're the greatest player of all time?
LeBron, you know how many memes LeBron gets from being a baby? He gets hit and he flops.
And Michael Jordan didn't? Okay, my brother, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to send you film on your homie, the king of the flop, okay?
Michael?
And the point, yes, I'll show you, bro. Don't think that it's LeBron flopping. And LeBron flops because he don't get called for fouls. You know what the referees say? I mean, we know he's getting hit, but it don't look like he's doing anything. He's just so powerful. But look, Michael, you can't even touch his arm, and he's getting called for a foul. I'm going to send you all these videos.
Again, different era, different. They
My
changed
man,
the rules.
if you're averaging
Back
15
then-
free
back
throws a
then, you
game,
were- you were getting
what would
a
you
hand
score if you're shooting 90% from free throw line?
Back then,
What would you score?
You were getting a hand check, and they wouldn't call that. Today, they would call that. Today's.
Listen,
today's
we're not
system is
talking
very
about the way the game was played then. That's not what I'm talking about. At all.
But you have to compare and contrast how it was versus what it is now.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. Like, yo, if you
You find it I find it, I mean, from what I've seen.
put it this way,
softer
like
game.
when Michael Jordan, it's a softer game. Well,
It is.
it's the game now is way more skilled than it was then. So back then, lack of skill leads to what? Aggression. So it was more rough, right? So if the game is different. That you cannot sit there and tell me that a dude, listen, here we go. LeBron James is a bigger, faster version of, for instance, Magic Johnson. Did you ever see the game during the finals where Magic played Michael Jordan? Magic abused him so bad that Phil Jackson had to pull him off and put Scottie on him, right? This is the same era you're talking about. LeBron is bigger, faster, stronger, more explosive than Magic Johnson. You mean to tell me in that era when Magic was dominating, LeBron wouldn't do that?
So regardless, in the game of basketball, good offense would beat good defense. So I get why Magic Johnson would beat Michael, but that makes sense.
But of course. So why would you say it doesn't make sense? Why did you think that LeBron wouldn't dominate in that era?
Let me tell you.
How would he not?
I wouldn't say he wouldn't be as dominant today, during that era. Now the reason why is because of the level of aggression in that era was completely different. Like.
So you think that level of aggression
They
would have been able to stop him?
They had the Detroit Pistons. They called them the Bad Boy Pistons during the 88, 89, 90 era.
And the biggest person on that team, hold on, the biggest person on that team, the strongest person on that team was smaller than LeBron James.
Hold on a second.
So how are they gonna stop him?
Real quick, I want Nemo's been saying some stuff in the
Yeah.
live. I'm live. I just want to get a couple comments in. Nemo had said LeBron averaged 2 points in the 2011 finals in the fourth quarter. He also said LeBron got locked down by Kawhi, and Scottie is damn near the same player.
That is true. There
were no fans in the bubble, which means that there was no pressure. It's like playing a pickup with your friends.
That's true, exactly.
Listen, so I'm not even.
Detroit Pistons. They designed that team to stop Michael Jordan. They
did not.
Yes, they did. They said
no, they did not. Bro, what are you talking about? The Detroit Pistons had that squad before Mike Jordan even came in the league. What are you talking about? They designed that for Michael Jordan.
They added players along.
The only team that designed anything for a specific player was teams that had to go against LeBron.
Isaiah Thomas literally said, "I hate Michael Jordan. We need to stop him."
Yes, exactly.
And that's exactly what they did.
Exactly.
They brought on Joe Dumars.
He was already on the team. They didn't bring in these guys. They're already on the team.
They brought in Bill Laimbeer.
He's already on the team.
No, he wasn't. They traded for him.
He's already on the team,
They traded for him. Bill Laimbeer, they put him on the team.
How many rings does Bill Laimbeer have?
I don't know, maybe one. They won
think so?
one in 1989.
How many rings does Bill Laimbeer have?
They finally got one.
Won 2 NBA championships as a player with the Detroit Pistons in 1989.
And how many times did the Pistons beat Michael Jordan? Twice for the finals. So what you talking about? They didn't bring him in for Jordan.
They didn't.
They smoked Jordan every time, bro.
It wasn't in the finals.
They smoked.
Bro,
Stop it, fam.
They
swept the dude. They swept homeboy, son. He couldn't win one game. Then the following year, they win one game.
Exactly.
Cool. Kudos, homeboy. Then you get Scottie. Then you get Scottie.
But they literally.
Scotty's your guy, yo.
They literally put that team together.
How come even your coach?
You should see the.
Your coach is saying.
You should see the highlights.
Michael, he's a great scorer.
Would go in, they would say
that's crazy.
Annihilate him.
Abuse him. And what does he do? Let's talk about Michael's toughness. He was so mentally tough. He was so physically tough, really, that you get abused in your own game, and you come back the following year, and what you do? You don't get abused no more. Why? Because you developed the best turnaround jumper in the game, so you stay out the fucking hole.
You know what Michael did?
Get out of here.
Michael was getting hit in the 1989 era. He's like, you know what? I need to come back stronger. He went into the weight room. He put on 20 pounds of muscle.
In the offseason. And you as a coach, you going to tell me what? And then he also went, all of a sudden, he's bald. If you want to go that route, because people like to talk shit about LeBron saying, oh, he on PEDs. You mean to tell me Michael Jordan, a skinny dude, an ectomorph like that, puts on 20 pounds of muscle in one offseason because of his fugazi-ass trainer? Get the fuck out of here. There's no goddamn way. There's no fucking way. 20 pounds of muscle in an offseason, only a few months, Michael Jordan at his body type, cannot happen without drugs. Ain't no fucking way, bro.
Ain't wrong.
None. None.
What's an offseason?
None.
It doesn't matter. We all
None.
know,
You know good and damn well. If you have a superb year with 0 drugs and put on 10 to 12 pounds in a year,
maybe
that's superb.
As a natural,
that's bar none. Something that nobody can do because you gotta do everything right. You gotta eat right, sleep right. You know he on drugs. You know he was taking shit, drinking, smoking. So come on now, all that, and he put on 20 pounds of muscle with the gambling, the partying, all that. You mean to tell me he put on 20 pounds of muscle in the off season in 4 months?
Not creatine.
Get the fuck out of here.
Nemo.
5 pounds of muscle a month?
So
My
hold on a
dude.
second, hold on a
Nemo,
second.
hold on,
Don't do
hold on,
this.
Hold on. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it back down. Nemo goes creatine. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, creatine, one of the most studied supplements in the world, is without question one of the best things that you can do
Yes.
on a daily basis. 5 grams. Now the new standard is 10 grams that people are saying, with no side effects and all positive.
Creatine's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, all positive
course.
from it. But yeah, creatine as a natural athlete, that's not getting you fucking 20 pounds of muscle in an off season.
That's like Barry Bonds coming back after 30 pounds of muscle in the offseason talking about, yo, I had a great offseason in the gym. Get the fuck out of here. Are you kidding me?
Barry Bonds.
30 pounds of muscle in the offseason from Michael Jordan at a completely different body type. And you know his body type don't put on muscle fast. 20 pounds? In the off season? Because I'm tough. I don't want to get beat. So why you put on the weight if you come in and develop a turnaround jumper?
You don't like Michael.
Yeah, he doesn't like that.
We put on this weight. We put on all this weight so we don't bang bodies. We don't get down low. You don't got no post game.
Either
You stay outside and you turn around and shoot the ball.
Either you really don't like
So
Michael,
you
or
ain't tough.
really love
You ain't all that. Like, come on now.
you really
You ain't about that life like that. How many times nobody wanted to get in Jordan's face. Jordan want to get rah-rah. Anybody that went in his face, that motherfucker back down. He ain't jumping at nobody. He ain't tough. The whole league had his back. The whole league. Michael Jordan is the guy, so we're not going to call him for foul. We're going to call him for every foul he can get so he can get to the fucking line. He's going to win these. When he gets 2 steals a game, we're going to say it's 6.
Listen, at the end of the day, it's business.
Fuck out of here.
Let's bring this back home.
The commissioner
Not a
said,
chance.
The commissioner said, whoa, we have one of the greatest players to ever play. He's going to transition the game. He literally paved basketball for what it is today.
He did.
Even from
He
a
did
business
then.
perspective.
Now,
Because
he's
if
not
you
the
were
best
to own the
anymore, bro.
NBA, if you were
just
there,
not.
if you were the commissioner of the NBA, forget that. If you were the commissioner of the NBA and you had this player, you say, this is a gold mine. Do not touch him. Do not hurt him. He's
Yes,
gonna make
100%. 100%.
So what's the problem?
So that means real basketball ain't coming your way, fam.
Same thing with LeBron.
It's doctored for you.
But the same thing with LeBron.
Even all the players said it. Listen, you know what? Will Chamberlain said, yo, you know what? The funny thing is,
Oh, Will Chamberlain's he's a different man.
so he says, Will Chamberlain said, the funny thing between you and I, to Michael Jordan, they changed the league to prevent me from scoring. They changed the league to help you score a lot. Boom. What's up? How many players say, listen, we're not allowed to touch Mike? We're not, even in pictures as jokes, don't get too close to Mike. We're going to get called for a foul.
That's true. That's true.
Come on now. And then you get to the line 15 times a game. You shoot 90% from the line. You get 15 shots, free shots off bullshit fouls, and you score 30 points. Bitch, that ain't cool. You shot the ball 30 fucking times, 40 times, and you made 15 of your points from the line, and you finished the night with 30. Motherfucker, you scored 7 times.
So that's the reason why the NBA is so soft today. You're welcome. Michael Jordan did that.
What, making it soft?
Yeah.
Could be.
Because now players
Can't touch that dude.
Because players
You
like
cannot touch Mike. And
because-
you know it's right.
because players like Kobe started to come out, LeBron started to come out, and they can't touch them because if they get hurt, ticket sales go down.
What you mean they can't touch LeBron? LeBron doesn't get fouls called for him, yo.
Yes, he does. How
My
many
dude.
times a game does LeBron go to the foul line?
Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh my
Let's finish
God.
this. Let's
You know what?
finish this.
I can
one
actually
up.
tell you.
Okay.
I can actually tell you.
We
Hold
gotta
on.
finish this one up, people.
I can
Emo,
actually
you
tell
a
you.
real one, man. He says you don't think LeBron on something the way he's still dunking. Wilt was a center playing against shooting guards.
That is true.
Basketball is just not my. This is a fitness podcast that it started out as, and it transitioned into a basketball debate that I had to get in.
Last night, LeBron James went to the line once. The night before, he went to the line twice.
Because he's shooting threes. The dude is shooting threes.
Okay.
He's
Better yet, last night,
Gotta
how many?
bring these guys back in? Nemo, you a real one.
Other night, 2 threes only. Night before that, 1 3. Come on now.
How many
No.
field goals is he taking?
15
Total.
attempts, 11 attempts, 12 attempts, 16, 20, 25, and he's still dropping 30 spots, but also getting
But you know why he's dropping 30s now? It's because they're scoring 130, 150 points a game. So it's easier to score. It is very easy to score 30 points in today's game.
Wait a minute. It's not easy for Jordan when you get sent to the line 15 times. That's half your points, fam. That's half your fucking points from the line.
But they were scoring 80 to 90 points a game.
That's half, and he shoots the ball 40 times a game. 40 times for 30 points? My nigga, you should have 80. That's a horrible fucking. That's a horrible fucking record, yo.
Judge Rizzles is presiding over this now. Okay.
Jamal, I still love you, bro.
Oh, it's all love.
Oh, it's all love, but I've never felt more out of place because I just don't follow that at all. So here's what we gotta do. You gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
All right, you gotta get out of here. We got more stuff to talk about. We'll talk about it. We'll do another episode. Jay.
Yeah.
He's
Oh,
heated.
man.
And this.
No, I'm just. I actually love the debates.
No, I do
between
too.
Jordan and LeBron stuff, but
I gotta reel it back in though. Otherwise, it'll just keep going.
It's fun. It's fun.
Let's
for me.
close it.
It's fun.
Let's
for me.
close it out.
It's one of those things where I actually like document shit and hold it.
Yeah.
Like games where Jordan used to score like 40 some odd points. The amount of shots he took and the amount of points he scored from the line, it's like astronomical. It's like, wait a minute, bro. How'd you score 42 points tonight when you literally were 10 for 30?
Yeah.
But doesn't that amaze you though? Like he
Okay.
was still,
Amaze?
hold on a second. Hold on. Let me finish. Like he was still able to have that mindset of I'm still gonna dog you.
Yeah, but
Even
he has
though-
that mindset
look,
because he knows he's getting called for the foul.
Hold on a
The
second.
moment he catches the ball and does
Hold
this
on a
and
second.
turns around, you touch him, he's going
Hold on a second. Hold on.
he's going to the foul line.
But he look at you know what's you know why LeBron Michael Jordan like mindset was so good is because he would miss 10 in a row, but he would still think that the 11th is going in.
Of course.
You know.
Of course. Hands down. Hands down.
But-
that's a great
that's-
mentality, but we're not talking about mentalities.
But
Because remember,
that's exactly why I think LeBron and Michael and why I think Michael and Kobe is better than LeBron because of the mentality.
your,
That's-
your
that's something-
mentality doesn't make you a better player.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
The
No,
mentality.
it doesn't. Because if you're not as efficient with this mentality, you're technically like a wild beast. You got to remember, if your coach is
But I
telling
think-
you,
I think-
chill, stop shooting the fucking ball so much, then you're doing something wrong. Just because you like to do it doesn't mean it. So I'm going to ask you this question. If you coached a team and you had one kid out there ball hogging and shooting the amount that Mike did, you be okay with it in teaching the game of basketball?
Okay.
You would
Good-
not teach
good-
any
okay,
single
that's a-
player,
that's a
young
good
kid,
question.
how to play like Michael Jordan. You would teach them to play like LeBron.
But that's a good question. So if that kid, right, kept missing every single shot.
No, if the kid missed 10 in a row,
Hold on a second.
would you let him shoot the 11th?
Hold on a second. Look, I've been in leagues like that where there was a player who would consistently miss shots. But you know why the coach kept that player in is because the way that he dominated the game outside of just missing, and he still had the confidence to play at a high level. So I think
So you would teach your players to play like that.
If it
When
depends,
you know your shots cold, you
depends.
wouldn't teach your players
But
to work on
but
trying
if-
to get an assist and
but
get
if-
into a
but that's
groove
exactly
to
what
then
I'm-
start shooting
but that's
again?
exactly what I'm saying. Like he would miss, but he would still play good defense. They would still rebound the ball. They would still be a leader on the court. Or
First off, Michael Jordan ain't getting rebounds.
All right, you know, let's stop.
Yeah, let's finish this. Let's finish. No. Let's
Dude.
finish it.
You think Michael Jordan used to get rebounds?
He was averaging like 6 rebounds a game
Is that great?
at that
Look
time.
at LeBron.
At that time, yes.
Look at LeBron. He
Hold on,
averages
yeah.
more.
Hold on.
Again, the game was
Hold
different.
on. Okay, Google. How many rebounds on average was Michael Jordan getting?
I'm not arguing that.
Averaged 6.2 rebounds per game during his NBA career.
Yeah.
And it was games that averaged 80, 90
What
points
about
a game. There was
What about
of,
LeBron James?
a lot of makes.
LeBron James averages 7.5 rebounds per game during his NBA career.
Yeah.
All right. Stay on.
Who is the best, Michael Jordan or LeBron James?
Well, they're always going to do that.
The best player is subjective and depends on individual criteria. Both Michael Jordan and LeBron James are considered among the greatest of all time, with exceptional skills and accomplishments. Michael Jordan, widely regarded for his offensive dominance, defensive intensity, and unmatched competitive spirit. He led the Chicago Bulls to 6 NBA championships and won 5 MVP awards. LeBron James, known for his all-around game, incredible athleticism, and basketball IQ. He has won 4 NBA championships with 3 different teams and is the all-time leading scorer in NBA history. Here's a table summarizing some key stats.
I
Stat:
knew LeBron was going to be
Michael
an all-time
Jordan,
leading
LeBron
scorer
James,
the
points.
first season he entered the league.
32,200.
Because I
Get up on that mic.
I knew LeBron was going to be an all-time leading scorer the first season he came into the league. That's just because I saw the greatness in him already, and I knew that he was going to be in this league for a very long time. I just saw it in him. You know,
Yeah.
Michael. I'm telling you, if it wasn't for Michael Jordan, the NBA wouldn't.
Yeah,
be what
of
it is
course.
today.
That I'm not taking away from him. During that era, he was the guy. But when you sit there and put it up where it's like, yo, who's better? Especially when you say who's a better basketball player? My man, if you're averaging more assists, rebounds, a better 3-point percentage, a better 2-point percentage, you finish better at the rim. You finish at the rim at the same percentage that Shaquille O'Neal did, the most dominant player, and you're not a center.
Okay,
Hold on.
Let me ask you one more question.
Okay.
Who would you? And I think I know where you.
Who would I start my team with?
LeBron.
LeBron.
Okay.
And once again, here you have one player who started at center, started at point guard, started at the 2 guard, started at forward, started at power forward. He started at each. He can play each position. Michael Jordan could never.
I agree. 100%.
Could never. And the thing is, he dominated those positions. And now he guards all those positions. Michael can't guard a center. Michael can't guard a power forward. Come on, dude. He couldn't stop Magic, and Magic was a point guard. He couldn't stop Charles Barkley, and he was a power forward at 6'4", and he's 6'6". You mean to tell me that he can stop a power forward? LeBron James stops centers, power forwards, shooting guards, and point guards. Best defensive stops in the history of basketball come to LeBron.
No more. No response. No response allowed. You gotta wait till next episode.
What's up?
All right.
Next episode.
So if you're gonna build a team, on, you know what? If this guy gets injured, I could always play him at any fucking position, and he dominates. And he plays it the way it's supposed to be played. He plays the game of basketball the way it's supposed to be played. So back in the day, you bring up basketball back in the day. So do you remember the illegal defense rule? Mm-hmm. You know what that rule was, right? Back in the day, nobody talks about this shit. But here you are, you have the ball. You're not allowed to leave your man to come and double up the guy who has the ball. Now watch LeBron's game winners and how many people are defending him. They'll have 4. Even Tim Duncan, he said, we played 5 people against LeBron. Every time he would grab the ball, we threw 4 people at him. We didn't care. We wanted the other players to beat us because he himself could beat us. So we threw 4 people. That's 4 people on 1. Michael Jordan had a one-on-one person all the time. Illegal defense prevented double teams, triple, and quadruple teams. But that's what LeBron faces. So when he drives the lane and four drops on him, there's 4 open players. The smart and the right move to make is to hit one of them because they're also professional athletes. No. But Michael Jordan ain't hitting game winners over 4 people. LeBron is.
And on that note, no more.
No more.
No more. No more. On that note,
no, what?
Around the horn. It's been over 2 hours. Around the horn.
Yeah.
Plug.
Plug your business.
Plug the business. We'll get you back to do another episode.
Plug the business.
Like your business.
Oh,
what's the name of the business? Where can people find you? And social media.
Vital Rehab.
Didn't even say your name. So
my name is Dr. Eugene Israelov. I opened a company, Vital Rehab, and physical therapy. Vital Rehab and Performance Physical Therapy, located inside Siege Athletics. Yeah, pretty much it.
Jay, plug.
This is me.
Plug. Come on.
Jay.
There's Jay?
Mr. Intensity, that's me.
Yeah, that's the homie right there.
All day.
Okay, so good debate at the end. We'll get you back in to do more stuff. It was funny, the TikTok stuff. I like TikTok's gonna be banned on Sunday, but
what do you mean?
Yeah,
the Supreme Court and well, not Supreme Court, the Congress.
Yeah, they banning it, man.
They're voted.
What is it? Are they?
They moved to ban it. Elon's trying to buy it. I think Mr. Beast is trying to buy it because.
Oh, damn.
So we can end on this, like actually end on this, because it's very funny. All the people on TikTok, I find hysterical that everybody is leaving TikTok because of the ban. They're pissed at the U.S. government. The main, I understand and I don't, and I also don't agree with it at the same time. They're saying that this Communist Chinese Party has ties, and you can see it in the terms and service. This is why Joe Rogan talked about it originally, refused to download it. In the terms and conditions in the service, it really does show some fucking crazy shit where they can see what you press on your screen. They're taking all of this feedback.
I'm about to erase it off my phone right now.
Well, wait, before you do. Because if a U.S. company takes it over, I mean, listen, they spy on you on any fucking app. I just find it hysterical that they'd rather a U.S. company spy on you versus an overseas one. But now everybody on TikTok is abandoning TikTok to go to an app called Red Note, which is literally Chinese TikTok.
And it's like in Beijing or something like that.
So now they're showing that they're talking to people over in China on a regular, like our people are talking more to a lot of people in China.
Beijing.
And I show my mom this, and my worry is that these people are going to think that whatever these people from China say is exactly how it goes on over there. They're like, what are you talking about? We live in these beautiful apartments for $500 a month and this and that. Like, to me, that's propaganda. That could be propaganda. Them like, oh, now we have all these people from America looking at this app. Let's start putting some of the people in power to start showing how great it is over here and how amazing. And so now you have people that are watching that, thinking that our own government is like, this is why they didn't want us to do this, because now they're showing a different way of life, but it could just be fake. So now you have real people going and using a real CCP app.
Shit.
So I don't know. So it's all weird. I'm keeping it on my phone. We'll see what happens. You know, that's where my biggest following is. But then I took a hiatus. They tanked me on views. We used to get millions of views on podcast clips, and now we get 200, 300.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they put me in TikTok jail. 6 months I stopped posting, and then I decided to start posting again, and they threw me in jail. So realistically, I believe that YouTube is the long play. Lives, you know, what I just did with TikTok Live while we were talking about this stuff, I'd like to be able to do on YouTube live for a podcast and then cut it up. Like Rogan used to do all live podcasts, and then he'd put the full thing out as a separate video. So I'd like to do that. Requires a little bit different setup in here, but we'll figure it out. So listen, I appreciate you coming in, hanging out with us, debating Jamal, chilling out. Very relaxed. You're the man, dude. We're going to have you in for another one.
My pleasure.
Everybody, I appreciate all y'all for fucking with us. But for now, peace.
Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Rizzology, the best podcast for both you and your daughters. Thank you.